NB pals, guys and gals, welcome back to the Rogue Room. That's the first time I've said that in ages. How's it going? Welcome back. We're doing things and stuff and whatever. Welcome back to my place. Welcome back to my little chill, tiny little space on the internet. People inside my computer, how have you been? I mean, I'm either you are the people inside my computer or I'm the person inside your computer and or phone or microwave or fridge if you've got one of those fancy white goods that can play Doom at a reasonable frame rate. How are you folks going? You were trapped inside my computer. Sorry, my drink just decided to ejaculate all over itself. You were trapped inside my computer because I had to keep you there because you're my viewers, and if I don't have viewers, I don't have any income doing this nonsense. So anyway, you can't redeem a hug straight away. That's not how this works. Pardon? Bank it. We're banking the hug. Yeah, Maddie's not coming into the room tonight for various reasons. There's like a list of about 12 reasons or so that we're not going to get into. Anyway, yes, we are all trapped in some form of computer. I mean, what was that particular theory? Well, there was a theory that involved that very concept that we are all just quite literally cogs in a big social machine. I can't remember which theorist had that theory, had that hypothesis. Social observation.
Thank you for continuing your membership. I am a sub for Abigail.
You can be a sub for me, Forlorn. Thank you for 4 months of that bloody tier 1, you legend. Yeah, Z was wearing very thin pants. Very, very thin pants. Having such a bad week, I'm sorry to hear that, Hellfire. I hope I can bring some light into it. Some goodness, some good vibes and whatever else. I don't know. What do people say on Twitch? I'm not familiar with the format. What do you do here? Never done this before. This is a new thing. How am I? I'm well. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm a little bit tired though. Oh yeah, I can kind of can actually reasonably flex in this top, by the way. This crop mesh top thing. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty decent. How nice is this mesh top though? Yeah, it's good. Hey, look at it. And look, I like the way it's sort of like. Yeah, it looks weird on the camera. Look at that. Hell yes.
Your gift to our patronage is most appreciated, friend.
Princess, thank you for destroying my sub goal. Thank you. I don't need that anymore. Thank you for gifting subs to Thybrid, Toyota Mike, Rachel Soon, The Clincher Politics, and Haley Snaley. Destroying my sub goal. As always, fuck your goal. Fuck it. I'm gonna bump it up then. Let's go. Competition time. We love muscular women in this house. That we do. I've been thinking a lot about fitness again lately. I mean, I participate in it all of the time. I'm a fitness person. I do all the working out and such on a regular basis. Trying to get back into my consistent 6-day-a-week routine this week, starting this week, because my schedule's been all over the place lately. I've just been a mess with so many things. Sub as in submarine. You'll let Abby destroy her own sub. Well, that's probably for the best, honestly. Or maybe not. I'm terrible at destroying things. Anywho. How have you folks been? How have things been this past week or so? So you might not be aware of this yet. If you aren't aware of this, you will be aware of this. I just got my second COVID jab last Monday, literally a week ago. Oh, there's a very slight bit of sensitivity just there. Okay. It's still a little bit tender, but yeah. Like, last Monday I got it and it just knocked me the fuck out. Jesus Christ. It was just awful. Well, it wasn't awful, but I just felt completely debilitated. Like, so tired. I couldn't work out until, like, Wednesday. So, like, I started, I got my vaccine on Monday, and then I couldn't work out again until Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. So I was completely out of my element. And I decided not to stream because over the past few days I've been participating in the Elden Ring Network test, which was fun. I actually got to play the video game that is coming out in, what, 3 months? 2 months?
Basic.
Second shot kicks.
Basic.
Hold on, thank you so kindly. I got AstraZeneca. Both times the vaccine has knocked me around, but not like ultra severely. Like, it's more like I've just been fatigued. On the topic of muscular femmes, Let's make sure we can probably not. Oh, it's doing a Discord thing. Oh, it's Autumn Ivy. Oh yeah, we like Autumn Ivy. Autumn Ivy's cool. I don't know what she does, but she's cool. She's jacked as all fuck. Like, look at this. Can I show this? Yeah, I can show this. There we go. Absolutely ripped. Goodness great. Look at those arms. Goodness. Fucking hell, dude. That's ridiculous. I am envious. Anyway, a subtrain is closed. Any bottoms in chat, get on the subtrain. Don't do a lot of strength, but you practice kendo 4 times a week. 2 years later, you can probably try to break down a steel door, and your shoulder will be fine. Oh, there you go. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, yeah. So AstraZeneca, I am. What did they say? Like, because I got the second shot so close together with the first shot, I've got about 60% effectiveness, or whatever the terminology that they're using is, versus I would have had 80 if I'd gotten it at 12 weeks. But I wanted to socialize again, so, you know.
Thank you for continuing
Common
your
Enemy,
membership.
thank you for subscribing with Prime, and of course. Princess Andromeda
Enjoy
hitting
your
a
membership.
tier 1 to Nekomancer. Call me out as a bottom, why don't you? There we go. Okay, hype train time. Let's go. Let's go. Can we get a hype train going? I mean, why not? Just do it. Just go crazy with it. If you have money that for some reason you would prefer to part with, rather than buying yourself sushi or something, which I had sushi today. Sushi was good. That was good. It was good to have sushi again.
Basic.
Alexia, thank you for the basic 100 bits. Did I thank Forlorn for the 100 earlier? Let's put these on. Let's give myself even more of a headache, because I've still got a headache. I am welcome. Thank you, Ziwa, for the sushi. Did that work? Yeah, my lights are changing. It worked. It just doesn't look very good on this camera, honestly. My lighting setup just looks like crap. Like, I can put this on. Does that work? Yeah, that works. There we go. You can't spend your money on actual things because of where you are. Well, that's fair. That is fair. You can't. I'm assuming you probably can't deliver things to you either, which would suck. So I've got no intentional layout for tonight's stream. You know, we're just coming back. We're just chilling. We're hanging out. We're doing whatever. We're talking about whatever. So we need some thoughts. We need some conversation topics, because I haven't been paying much attention to anything aside from Elden Ring, which, don't get me wrong, I could talk about Elden Ring all night. It's great. It's wonderful. It's tremendous. And it's like, aside from... It feels like the game is functionally playable in its current state. It was mostly network errors that I was dealing with, because it was the network test. They were stress testing the servers, I suppose. Putting a whole bunch of people in there.
You are too kind.
Oh my goodness, Forlorn, thank you for gifting a tier 1 to Hellfire and to Lady
You are
Necro.
too kind.
Enjoy those emotes, folks. Enjoy your ad-free viewing if you... I mean... Also
You are
enjoy
too
the ads
kind.
if you like them. I mean, I think there's probably an option to watch ads. Maybe. You might be one of those people who likes advertisements for some reason. And for gifting a sub to NBSB. Thank you so kindly. Tend to overspend on stuff that you don't need. Oh, I do that. Speaking of, level 3 hype train complete. Sweet. Heck yes. All of my mods should have subscriber badges, honestly. They should. They should just get them by virtue of... why did I turn that off? I didn't want to turn that off. That's still going. The flashy lights are still going, because we've still got a hype train going. Let's continue with that. I mean, on the subject of overspending. I've paid off, thanks Twitch, by the way, for my most recent payout, because I paid off my half of a PlayStation 5. So when Elden Ring eventually does drop in February, I will be playing it on a PS5. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not going to play it on my PC. I would like to. I feel like my PC could handle it, but I want to play it on a PS5, which is going to be invariably better graphically and all that kind of stuff. You need to hide again. Rightio, princess. Take care of yourself. Oh, my sub goal is now off the screen. Hang on. Let me fix this up. Okay, we've made a mess. We have made a mess. Let's fix it. I can do this. I know how to use software intended for streaming video games. There we go. Well, not just video games, but whatever. You could have sworn you were following me. Well, now you are. Your name looks familiar, so yeah. Twitch just does that, honestly. Thought those were still impossible to get. What, Elden Ring or PS5s? We secured one because we started following a Twitter account which puts out alerts saying this store will have stock, or this store will have whatever it is. Like, it'll have PS5s, digital or physical. You can only order it online, or you can only order it in store, or you can only call up, or whatever. Like, they had a very specific way of outlining which stores would have stock of PS5s. And we were very fortunate to go to my local store, EB Games, like an hour after one of those tweets went live. So I'm surprised that they actually even had any pre-orders remaining. 40-ish minutes, yeah, 40-ish minutes. So, like, generally speaking, what was happening is if any store had online stock, they were gone in seconds, right? But EB Games was taking pre-orders for upcoming stock in only in store. You had to be physically in the store to place a pre-order down. So, yeah, that was we were very fortunate to get down to the store in time, which was good. Yeah, it was a pretty useful service in disappointing us several times over. I mean, like, one of the major issues that we ran across was, of course, originally we found a location that was doing what was it? I think they were physical PS5s across, like, supposedly like 12 different stores in this particular chain. But we got on the phone to like a bunch of them, or tried to, rather. Pardon? Probably more than 12. Way more than 12 actually. Loads of them. Loads of Good Guys stores, right? All in the city, mainly. And all of their phone lines were either dead, like as if they'd been cut out, like cut off completely, or completely busy. And then by the time we actually finally got through to any of the stores, I think one of them was the store that got stock, and they said no, all of them are gone, because by that point 40 minutes had passed. And the other one said, oh no, most of the stores didn't get stock. So the problem with those kind of alert services is, you know, the information might be not 100%, but it's better than nothing, you know. Anyways, you bought Jurassic World Evolution 2. I never played the original one, honestly. I'm not sure what kind of game it is. Planning on trying to do makeup again, so you might end up in a pile of depression. Oh, princess. Practice makes perfect. My original attempts at makeup were absolute garbage. I could show you. What did I start out with? Like mascara and eyeliner and lipstick, I think, and it was terrible. It is worth looking at tutorials. Trust me, they are very, very helpful. They helped me to sort of like nail down some of the techniques that I use these days. What kind of guitar is that? It's a piece of shit, honestly. It's an Ashton Lerner guitar. Like, it's not good by any stretch, and I don't know how to play it. I really should sit down and actually practice for a bit, but I'm not gonna. I should. Someone recommend me some cute songs I can play for my girlfriend that are not ridiculously hard to learn. I'm curious what your recommendations might be. I am not going to sing. I'm not a singer. I don't do singing. Yeah, it's been neglected for years. I originally wanted to play it because I thought the idea of playing metal riffs was cool, and I can play a couple of them, but I'm not going to do that on stream because, surprisingly, DMCA will hit me even if I play a riff that's really, really amateur. So, you know, you don't want to get that kind of thing going. Anyway, I'm yet another one of those people who invested in a musical instrument without having any plan for like how the hell am I going to learn to play this thing. Like, I didn't make contact with any tutors or anything of that nature. So you can stop lurking and actually chat now. How are you, Looper? How have you been? You try to do it, then feel super dysphoric, and then end up crying and not trying again for a month. I think I can understand. It's a pretty rough scenario when you really want to do something and then you try it, only to, you know, realize you're not as well. I mean, this is kind of like the guitar thing. However, when it comes to dealing with dysphoria around it, that's an even bigger deterrent. But, you know, with the guitar thing, like with drawing and a bunch of other things I've tried over the years, for me personally, it was like, I'm not perfect at this, even though I've spent literally no time on it. And thus I give up on it really easily. Which is dumb. It's a dumb thing we do. By the way, thank you for the hype train, everybody. 11 subs and 200 bits. You're all fucking legends. Thank you so much. It's a really silly thing because I suppose when we're looking at those kinds of things, like with makeup, like with illustration, like with music, or any other kind of artistic pursuit, I suppose you could say, we always look at the experts. We always look at the ones that are that have already sort of made it in that space. Hello, MB Junction. How you doing? I just put news into my tags. We're gonna take a look at some news if we can find any. Anyway, as a guitarist, you should browse your thing, and also if you want to learn, you suggest Rocksmith. I should try Rocksmith, honestly. I've heard you can play that with a real guitar. Like, I know it's got a controller. It's a very common issue. I'm not instantly good at this. Same with streaming, honestly. I'm going to throw that out there. It's one of those things that I've noticed a lot of people who stream will set up their OBS or whatever, and then instantly jump to this conclusion that they're no good at it because they get no viewers. I'm like, how many streamers are there? There's so many. And it's something that a lot of people can very easily get into because most people have got the tech to get into it. They've got a gaming console or a PC or even a phone nowadays. You can just stream to Twitch or YouTube. You just need to buy the game and cable. Okay. That would be an idea. I could try that. Because, gamifying those kind of skills is a good thing, in my opinion. You're still terrible at streaming. You learn that. You need to work on stuff. Well, I mean, like I said, it's a skill like... It's a skill like anything else. Streaming is a skill like anything else. And I still don't feel 100% because I was drinking last night. So I'm still not hungover, but I don't feel 100% either. So, Saw a very sad take. If chat don't talk, I'm going into no effort mode. That's a surefire way to make chat never talk to you. Like, I've seen those kind of things before as well. That kind of idea as well. Like, one of the crucial failings a lot of streamers have is that they expect chat to be immediately active. Even if they have so much as like 10 viewers, but if every one of those 10 viewers is quiet, those people are still watching you, and you should still have to have the entertainment factor to keep them hooked. Otherwise, that 10 viewers is going to quickly lose the 1 at the start of it. That's one of those problems. It's what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, like 10 viewers is statistically a lot on Twitch. It's a huge number. It really is. Somebody ran the numbers on this recently and found that anyone who's in double digits or above is in... Was it top 3? Yeah, I was thinking top 3%. It might not be 100% accurate there, but it sounds about that much. So, like... But that's not really saying much, honestly, I feel like. Because I don't, like... Much like with the way that Netflix is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, is ephemeral the right word? Or like, they're very opaque with their information. No, that's not the right word. Not opaque. No, actually, yeah, opaque is the right word. Yeah, if we say transparent, like Netflix put their books out for everyone to see how much money they're making. Then Netflix is very opaque with that information. They don't tell you. They don't tell anyone anything. And same with Twitch. They keep a lot of shit close to their heart, which is why that leak recently was a big deal. No. Hello, Judas. How you going? So, in that sense, it's like we could be thinking about how anyone with 10 viewers or over average is in the top 3% of streamers, right? But... how are they calculating what counts as a streamer? Is it someone who streams regularly? Is it someone who streamed 4 months ago and never streamed since? Is it anyone who has a Twitch account? I doubt that would be the case. I would say just generally speaking, it's probably going to be anyone who has ever streamed as a broad statement. However, you could also do like an analytic that's just for this past month. Cutesy love song you can learn. Do I have to say the words by Bryan Adams or Everything I Do it for you by him as well? Oh, okay. Good recommendations. They have to reveal how much they're making. It's not so much how much they're making, it's how much they've made off specific content. Because recently they've announced this movie that no one in the world was ever looking forward to. This movie called Red Notice. And all over social media, Netflix is going off like, oh, it's our best movie released in the world. No one had heard of this thing. No one was looking forward to Red Notice. I can guarantee you. Abby, what color would I say your dress is? Oh. I can sort of show it on screen if you want. I can just do this. Oh, you can't really see it. It's... Hang on. Hang on a sec. Let me see. We'll do this. It's like a beige... Is it beige? Here's a dress what my girlfriend's gonna wear to a place. There we go. It's cute. It's got a cute pattern. Hello, Maya. How you doing? Oh, goodness me. And it's the same with the Dave Chappelle special, which I think it's more likely. I'm just going back to the Netflix thing, just continuing my thought. So yeah, I feel like this Red Notice movie that, again, it's got big names in it. It's got Ryan Reynolds in it. It's got The Rock in it. It's got, what's her name again? I can't remember. I don't know what her name is. Gal Gadot, the Wonder Woman, whatever. It's got them in it, but I look at the Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes scores, and I'm like, nobody wanted to watch this. And I get the suspicion it's one of those things where it's like Netflix has put the movie on its front page and will start playing a section of it so that they can technically say, oh, look, because people are using Netflix all the time for so many different reasons. I don't think anyone was opening Netflix to watch Red Notice. But because they knew people were going to be on the service on the day, they're just able to say, oh, it's our biggest movie opening ever. Why should you believe them? Galagadot. Yeah, I don't know, yeah. Yeah, I think Netflix have done this several times. Netflix, yeah, they did this with The Dirt. They did this with something else. They did it with the Chappelle thing. They said the Chappelle thing was massively popular and all that, but I think they actually lost money on the recent Chappelle special. Cowboy Bebop, is that the original anime, or is it the remake they're doing? People always lie for advertisement. They do, but I wish they would embellish a little in a little bit more of an honest way, if that makes sense. Like, we can tell you're bullshitting. Can you at least make it somewhat honest? I feel like that, like Netflix putting out this thing of what was it? Netflix saying this is our biggest movie release ever. It's like, could you tone it down just a tad, or like, I don't know, saying shit like that, honestly, saying stuff like it's our biggest movie release ever means nothing if, like, let's just say, have some critic quotes in there or something. And given that these scores over here that I'm seeing, 39% Rotten Tomatoes, 37% Metacritic, 6.5 IMDb. Those are the only ones I'm going to care about. 90% liked this film out of Google users. I feel like that number is fudged. That'd be so easy to fudge. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this. You've got me onto this tangent now. Because it comes back around to the Twitch streamers thing. You know, we don't know what the real numbers are. Who's going to release the real numbers? Have they, like, did they notice a significant boost in subs when that movie specifically dropped on their platform? Help you buy a sundress. We'll go op shopping. We should go op shopping. I could do yo-yo. Yeah. Movie companies do the same thing with box office releases. They always use the takings without adjusting for inflation or population growth, which is kind of funny. That's yo-yo. Oh, where is the yo-yo? Did I put it in here? No. 90% of films should be erased from existence. They should. They should. There's a lot of really shit movies out there, and it feels like it's only getting worse. It's easy to have the biggest movie release ever. Yeah, biggest movie release ever in what country? How much were the tickets? how much are Netflix subscriptions in whatever country you're pulling those stats from. Filmo-fascism. Okay, here we go. We'll yo-yo this a little bit. Could eradicate Marvel completely. I mean, I liked the Marvel movies for a bit. But I will concede that I'm pretty freaking done with them. Well, there we go. There's a little bit. That's what I'm doing. That's the yo-yoing. I've found that a lot of the Marvel stuff was good up to a point, and then once they reached, yeah, they're junk food movies. That's a good way to put it. And some of them had their merits. Like, obviously, a lot of people sing the praises of The Winter Soldier, and I agree. The Winter Soldier is a great movie. But overall, yeah, they're popcorn action flicks that, because of their popularity, they've been able to put a little bit more effort into them and make them a little bit better than the superhero movies of old, like the Fantastic Four movie, for example. So, you know, I think what people latched onto is that we pretty much had a history of superhero movies being pretty bad before the MCU came along. Like, even Iron Man was fairly mediocre, but it was a good kickoff point to the whole franchise. And then as they progressed, they got steadily better in quality, but they were never really particularly groundbreaking. Well, they were, but they weren't in various ways. So, like, they were broadly... What's the term I'm looking for? Like, broadly... Not relatable, but, like, that other word, like, where a whole lot of people really like them. If a film is in French experimental and hasn't been banned in over 3 countries, then it isn't worth my time. Oh, goodness. He got massive Marvel fatigue. So did I. Yeah, I watched Endgame, and I think I saw the Spider-Man movie that came out of that after that. But I'm not motivated to watch them anymore. You know, I feel it like I think a lot of people are feeling it. We've seen the response to Eternals recently, and is that movie out? I don't even know if it's out at this point, but it stands to reason that everyone's looking at these movies now. We're just like, okay, we get it. I think we want to stop now. It's like you're running a marathon of just superhero movies. Endgame was your literal end game for Marvel. Every Marvel movie since has been meh. Yeah, I mean, it feels like they hit the very peak, and then there's no point continuing. And yeah, like, Into the Spider-Verse is genuinely great, and I can't wait for the sequel to that, because it does something fresh with the formula. It's got great animation, great soundtrack, great storytelling, honestly. Like, it's overall a really good movie. But yeah, like, the Marvel movies, the popcorn Marvel movies that are designed to appeal to a broad audience. There we go, audience appeal, that's the term I'm looking for. You know, there's only so much you can take. I feel like it was a good idea in concept. Like, let's have not a multiverse. Well, we're gonna get a multiverse now. Deal with that shit. But, you know, a cinematic universe was largely relegated to horror movies before the MCU sort of took the format and ran with it. Excuse me. At this point, they've not only jumped the shark, they've jumped the entire damn ocean it's in. Spider-Verse good, Marvel bad. I think, honestly, I haven't played Dishonored 2, so I couldn't speak to that one, but you could definitely turn Dishonored 1 into a single movie, I think. A single movie or like a Netflix 8-episode series. Do one of those. Oh, wait, we're not supposed to like Netflix. Actually, I forgot. Since the Chappelle thing, we're not supposed to like Netflix. Good thing I don't pay for it. I did watch Joker. I saw that one twice. I thought it was decent. Looking back, it's kind of milquetoast on a variety of facets. It's good, but it's not as great as people laud it to be. Hey, Sammy, what's cooking? Well, we had ricotta and spinach agnolotti earlier. That was cooking. That was good. I liked that. Oh, goodness me. Loki series was okay, but you preferred him as a baddie. The series is a rehabilitation of the character to make a series. Yeah. I watched, who made the video on Is Loki Really a Narcissist? Who was it that made the YouTube video that was, yeah, it was about, is Loki really a narcissist? Was it? It wasn't Sophie, was it? Was it? It was Jessie Gender. It was Jessie Gender, I think, if I recall correctly. She watched the whole series, and I gave like a detailed breakdown and discussion around the idea of Loki being a narcissist. Or was it Lindsay Ellis? I don't know. Fuck. I don't... I don't really do media, mainstream media, and I don't really do mainstream media content either. So I don't know what the gist is there. If it were up to me, I would do Soulsborne content all of the time. This is becoming an Elden Ring channel on February 25th, okay? Just so we're clear, I'm going to become an exclusive Elden Ring channel, and we're going to do lore breakdowns and shit. Chant, happy birthday, Tego. And on February 26th, there we go. There you go. Did that work? Happy birthday, mate. Happy birthday. I think this is the one you mean. Loki, the MCU, and narcissism. No, but... Oh, maybe it is. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe it is. I swear Jessie Gender made a video on it. Jessie Gender is great. And on February 26th... I don't... What's on February 20... Hang on, what is on February 26th? Is that the day I think it is? Is that... Hang on. Okay. Good to know. Just so we can confirm. I'll put that one aside. What is February 26th? It's a Friday. Okay. Anyways. I'm gonna book something for that. Okay, there we go, for February 26th, special day. So you know. Anyway, happy B-Day, Tego. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's chilling. You got your first. Oh, very good, Looper. Congratulations on the first appointment for ADHD assessment. Poggers. How's it going? You're curious. What have I learned? I love that. I love that. You know, I first read I'm curious, and then my mind immediately went to some really different questions. But I'm glad that what you've asked me is, what have I learned from streaming so far? I've learned that gaming as a streamer is actually not for me, so the Elden Ring thing is a bit of a joke, actually. I am going to stream it, but not as much as I'm going to continue with the just chatting thing. I have learned a lot about myself as a content creator in that I really don't gel with the gaming content kind of side of things. I've tried various different video games throughout the 3 or so years that I've been streaming. I've tried streaming largely just chatting and like one gaming stream a week, and I've noticed every time I do a gaming stream my view count plummets. And I've noticed that when I focus very specifically on certain topics, it retains people's attention. So those are a few things I've learned. So gaming is not for everyone, is one thing I'll say. And I've learned that in order to be, I would say, relatively successful in this, a lot of effort needs to be put outside of the platform. You can't just do all of your content on Twitch. You're basically playing the lottery. Like, you could stream exclusively on Twitch and do nothing else. Not have a Twitter presence, not have an Instagram page, not have any other content, no YouTube, nothing, TikTok. You could definitely just stream on Twitch and blow up. It's a possibility. It's incredibly, microscopically unlikely. You know, it's like finding a cure for cancer. It's probably not gonna happen, generally. You know, so that's another thing I've noticed is, like, in order to gain some real serious traction on this platform, you need to develop some kind of an audience on another platform. That's one big thing I've learned is I've realized that networking for me personally is largely engaging on Twitter with people who are interested in the same kind of things I'm interested in. And putting out content on, like, say, YouTube allows the content that I'm doing here to sort of retain a presence. So this is like a live format. And if people are interested in the content but they can't catch a stream at 9 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, Australian Eastern Danded time. Everyone get on that Danded time, yeah. Then having, extra content outside on other platforms like YouTube and TikTok. I've got to do more TikTok stuff, honestly. Anyway, just become the cancer. I mean, if you have the income to become one of the Paul brothers, go ahead. I don't know what their origin story is, but just by the look of them, I get the suspicion that they didn't exactly come from nothing either. That's another big thing that a lot of people seem to overlook. Why can't I be like the big, famous, successful streamers? 'Cause they're fucking rich. They bought into it, like, honestly. There's a lot of creators out there who the only reason they're famous is because they already had money and fame, or not fame. They had money and they had influence behind the scenes somewhere that helped them blow up. Like, there's a story of, do you folks remember the story of, who was it? Someone was at a YouTube shindig where there was like a bunch of YouTube partners and YouTube staff and all that, and Susan Wojcicki was there, or Susan Wojcicki, whatever her name is. She was overheard talking to someone who was like an up-and-coming creator, and she literally says to them, can someone go away, bot, nobody likes you, okay, have a timeout, whatever. She says to this creator something along the lines of, oh, we think you've got a lot of promise, we'll get you tons of subscribers and viewers and all that kind of thing. Like, she just literally says to this is the person who's in charge of YouTube, for the record. So don't begrudge yourself if you decide to get into content creation and you don't blow up like some people who you've never heard of. There we go, let's get another chant going. Yeah, don't get down in the dumps if you start doing content creation and you don't immediately hit 1 million subscribers in a week or whatever. Like someone that, yeah, like I mentioned, like who remembers that YouTuber that cropped up on like everyone's front page because her video was like living in a caravan or living in a van or whatever it was, and she was just like a very bland, vanilla kind of person. There was nothing particularly standout or interesting about her or her content. It was very, very generic. And I was like, yeah, because they just literally gave her all of the attention. She knew someone at YouTube and just sort of... Yeah, they've never confirmed this, but it was a long-standing conspiracy theory. I still stand by it. You know, certain creators just have a way in. They just got a way, like a shortcut around the back, you know? What? Streaming is basically Sisyphus, only you might get the boulder to the top and then everyone at the foot of the hill better be paying attention and someone may help you push it. Yeah, it's not unheard of. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah, exactly. And it's not just like if you know a bunch of people. You have to know influential people. You have to know the ones who are willing to give you a leg up. And you still have to have some promise too. Like, you still have to have some level of commitment to the brand or what have you. Something that will give you the opportunity to succeed. And in some cases, it becomes a thing of you don't know anyone at the beginning, but as you progress through your content creation career, you meet other people who are those influential people you need to know to progress, to go further. You know, Masonic handshakes, etc. Yeah, you need to know influential people who want to know you. Exactly. Which is it's a tricky bunch of business. It really is. You know, which is why I can understand the frustration a lot of streamers have. A lot of particularly smaller streamers who are like, why can't I get more than 0.2 viewers per stream? And here's the thing I'm curious about. I've never really asked this question out loud, I suppose. Because, or you could just be like me and be a hot goth girl. Yes, exactly. I've made this joke before. I'm going to make it again. If all those women are stealing your viewers, become a women. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, like I see this a lot in streamer social media circles where the streamers in question are having a whinge about not getting any viewers, right? We're talking about infinite follower growth. Well, we could go down this pathway, honestly. It's kind of the same sort of thing as a pyramid scheme almost. A lot of follower growth kind of, let's get some viewers. Things basically boil down to pyramid schemes. Is TFW that feel when or that face when? Someone remind me. Pardon? Either or? Okay. You mean an influential person who says they love your work and they'll get back to you and they never do? Yes, it's fun, isn't it? What was I going to say? Okay, so I see a lot of streamers, a lot of smaller streamers in these, on Twitter, on Facebook, on wherever, and they will complain about not getting any viewers. And they'll always say, oh, I want to get affiliate. Okay, you want to get affiliate. But the question that never gets answered is, what do you want to do after you get affiliate? Right? So they want to be the next. It's generally the consensus is, I want to get affiliate so I can get emotes or whatever. It's like, okay, but if you're gonna get emotes but you don't have any viewers, why do you need emotes? That's usually where they go to. It's like, I want to have viewers so I can get to affiliate so I can unlock emote slots. Who's gonna use the emotes if you don't have any viewers? I'm being mean right now, but like some of them need to hear this. Pog indeed for the 8 subs. Killing it. You're absolutely killing it. The real flex is GitHub followers. Have 10. Oh shit. Oh, we're getting competitive in here. Yeah, that's the next thing. Is like they'll always be like, okay. Well, and I've given this advice tons of times, Lupa, honestly. Build a solid community and be more sociable without the limitations of real life social interaction. Well, not exactly that advice, but build a community which consists of branching out beyond just, I'm a Twitch streamer. What do you do? Right? What do you do as a streamer? Why am I talking like I'm giving a seminar? What's this you've sent me, Sammy? I'm not doing stand up. I'm not doing stand up at the moment. Your mum thinks you're cool. Well, that counts. that used to be the advice. Was like get family members to watch your content, which, I mean, it works if you're doing content that your family will watch. If you're doing whatever it is that you think your mother or your sister or your brother or your uncle or whatever, if you think they're going to watch your content, then by all means go ahead and ask them to watch you. But, what do they like to watch? That's why you don't care to push for partner at any point. If you got the community, you're all good. If your stream is good, you don't think sponsors will care if you have the tick or not. Well, generally yes, but one of the major things is you're going to need to have the recurrent CCV at the very least, which is always a struggle, like retaining those viewers, bringing people back. Having a consistent viewership high enough that sponsors will look at your content, and it's not necessarily the quality of the content, it's how much viewer retention you have that sponsors are interested in. Of course, some brands are not going to work with someone who does a certain type of content. Why are you gay? Why are you gay? Yeah, think about that. Well, yeah, I'm gay because of my girlfriend, but anyway. You refuse to let your family watch your content. I say some raunchy shit. It's always wild, honestly, like, because I'm gonna just like I'm gonna dunk on my mother right now, right? The amount of times I have heard my mother being like so puritanical about anything relating to like sex related shit or whatever, and then my sister will come back to me and talk about how there was some thing she went to, like a trivia night, or she did something with my mum where I wasn't there. And the story will get back to me about how my mum and her friends were saying this incredibly raunchy shit. And meanwhile, if I were to say anything like that, she'd lambast me for it. I'm like, why though? What's with the hypocrisy, madam? It's so ludicrous. Hypocrisy, Hippocrates. Here's a fun fact. Here is a fun fact in Bloodborne. Pardon? Bloodborne fun fact. At some point in Bloodborne, which takes place in, I guess, an allegory of Victorian London, you could say, there is a character that says it is their Hippocratic Oath, which implies that at some point in the Bloodborne universe, Hippocrates existed. Does that mean... What does that mean? What does that mean, I wonder? My favorite Greek philosopher, Hippocrates. You're so gay that you let other people date dudes while you delegate yourself to women. Good early Illinois morning to you too, Lady Cat. How you doing? Clicked on the trans tag on another Twitch streamer's channel and was led to my channel. Well, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a lovely one. The ancient Lauren philosopher. We haven't got to the Lauren chalices yet. I forget which chalices they are that have got like the big gaping chasms. Yeah, there's big gaping chasms. There's a bit of a, am I British? I am sadly British descended. I am from British Texas. Anyway, Dark Souls is dystopian future confirmed. I've always liked that theory, actually. The idea that, you know... I mean, I like that setting. I like that idea of a high fantasy or dark fantasy setting that's literally just the far future, where technology got so advanced that it's basically magic, like literally magic. And, where is British Texas? Australia, the colonies, where they sent all the convicts. British Florida? Maybe. Like on Stargate? Is it like Stargate, I suppose? Maybe, I don't know. But I want to see like a series that embodies all of the aesthetic choices. And I mean, maybe this exists already. I don't know. I haven't seen every single fantasy thing ever. But I like the idea of a setting that embodies all of the typical fantasy tropes, high fantasy tropes. That is also, you know, our world existed at some point in time, but we're like 10,000 years in the future and everything is now unequivocally magical and also sort of quasi-medieval and yada yada yada. Funny how people say that Australia was a convict colony when it was mostly just free, low-crime, poor people, political and religious persecuted. They were definitely convicts. At any rate, it's a good meme though. Even if we're not all descended from convicts, it makes sense given how degenerate this country is. British Florida sounds fitting for Australia because everyone there is fucking insane. But you can surf, I guess. True. Very true. The convicts were sent to actual prisons, yeah. We did have jails. We had Old Sydney Town for a while. Who heard of Old Sydney Town? There was a, like, I don't know if you wouldn't call it a theme park. It was like a little travel back in time pocket walkthrough experience thing that existed here for a time, where they took you through a recreation of ye olden days. And they had little shops, and they had a jail you could go into, and they had like a little town layout. They had references to Ned Kelly and yada yada and all that. They had reenactments of certain events, right? And one of them in particular was quite literally a lashing with a cat o' nine tails. They had a convict strapped to a board, or a criminal or whatever, and they would read out his list of crimes, and then they would lash him with a fake cat o' nine tails with paint on it. Because they couldn't really lash someone. Sadly, you can't actually lash someone in public these days. It's a bit illegal and probably a biological hazard. Anyway, that was a thing. It was just a horny sub. You've heard of the Sydney Opera House, but that's about the extent of your Australian knowledge because, you know, Crocodile Dundee ain't shit. Fair point. If you know the Sydney Opera House, you need to know the Sydney Harbour Bridge as well. That's crucial. And also Uluru, or which was formerly known as Ayers Rock. Pardon? Because dumb, yes. And that's about it. Australia has 2 buildings and a rock. That's all of it. There's not much here. Oh, and we have at least 1 pianist who streams on Twitch. That's anyway. We have 1 bridge, not bridges. We have 1 bridge. Okay, this isn't Death Stranding here. We don't have Norman Reedus. Okay, and drop bears. Those are just koalas. Honestly, I'm just gonna spoil it for you. It's just koalas. Koalas are like sloths, in that they are so lazy they'll eventually just fall out of trees. Okay, and the horror stories of the drop bears dropping down and killing people and mauling their faces is actually just when a koala has fallen out of a tree, conked someone on the head and killed both of them. And then, you know, folklore has just led to people developing this myth around the drop bear being this horrific monstrosity. But it's actually just Dale had a koala fall on his head and he died. So they buried him in the bush. Stuck a little stick in the thing. It's like, this is where Dale died. Dale dug a hole. Then we buried him in it. Even the cute creatures in Australia are deadly. Yes, do not pick a fight with a kangaroo. I swear to God, those motherfuckers will eat the shit out of your face. Hypothetically, like metaphorically. They'll punch you in the face, and it'll feel like your face got eaten. Because it'll get torn off. Kangaroos are jacked. They really are. Oh, Gimpy. Okay, we have to do this. Let's read about Gimpy. Or Dendrocnide moroides, commonly known in Australia as the Gimpy, is a plant in the nettle family Urticaceae. I don't know how you say that. Found in rainforest areas of Malaysia and Australia. It is notorious for its extremely painful and long-lasting sting. The common name Gimpy comes from the language of the indigenous Gubbi Gubbi people of southeastern Queensland. Urticaria, there we go. Anywho. So, toxicity. Very fine brittle hairs loaded with toxins cover the entire plant. Even the slightest touch will result in them becoming embedded in the skin. Electron micrograph images show that they are similar to a hypodermic needle in being very sharp-pointed and hollow. Additionally, it has been shown that there is a structurally weak point near the tip of the hair which acts as a preset fracture line. When it enters the skin, the hair fractures at this point, allowing the contents of the trichome to be injected into the victim's tissues. My accent's Australian, I generally believe. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I suppose. The trichomes stay in the skin for up to a year and release the toxin cocktail into the body during triggering events such as touching the affected area, contact with water, or temperature changes. Ernie Ryder, a conservation officer with the Queensland Parks and Wildlife Service, was slapped in the face and torso with the foliage in 1963 and said, "For 2 or 3 days the pain was almost unbearable. I couldn't work or sleep, and then it was pretty bad pain for another fortnight or so. The stinging persisted for 2 years and reoccurred every time I had a cold or shower. There's nothing to rival it. It's 10 times worse than anything else." It's a really, really bad plant that you really do not want to touch. Do not touch the Gimpy. It's a real thing. Pardon? You can get got by a plant. I mean, you can get got by a plant in other countries too. I mean, I've seen Americans just thinking it's the funniest shit in the world to strip naked and jump on a cactus. I mean, tell me that wouldn't fucking hurt, honestly. Planning murder on stream. We're talking about a plant. We're not planning anything. Australia's basically real life Squid Game. I'm going to be honest with you folks. I'm not at all interested in watching it. Barely. Like, I watched the first episode with the dub. Terrible. Like, the show's alright. The show's not bad, but like the dub, atrocious. It's like watching dubbed anime, except you can tell the live action show is actually quite good on its own merits, but the dub is shit. And a lot of the meaning behind the a lot of the meaning behind what is said in the show is lost, apparently, from what I've heard from people who've watched the show and understand Korean and English. Australia has people living there for thousands of years. Suddenly some idiots on boats decided it was dangerous to live there. It's the it's colonialism all over again. You know, they really want to make Australia seem as dangerous as possible just because it makes the natural inhabitants of the country, well, not natural, native inhabitants, I suppose you could say. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it with this sub, I think. Pardon? With the, what? I can't say it in chat. I can't. At least the red light, green light thing. I mean, it was good. It was a good introduction to the show. You know. Guess is in New South Wales for a few days in January for Kat's birthday. Oh heck yes! I should check out Kat's stream again. I haven't been in Kat's stream for a while. It'd be. I've been baking a bit lately. I plan on baking again soon. I want to make banana bread. And I feel like I should go and hit up Kat and do like a baking stream. I missed the first half. Okay. Oh, people saying it's a rip-off of As Gods. I don't know what As Gods is. Yes, actual baking. I've never done illegal things. Oh, As the Gods Will. Okay. You've been fighting a kidney infection the last few days. Oh my goodness. Just drink the pain away. That'll help, you know. If your kidneys are dead, you don't have to fight a kidney infection anymore. So just alcohol. Don't take my advice. I'm terrible at this. I am not a medical practitioner of any sort, although I'd like to be. Can you imagine, like, imagine being so fed up with the patriarchal society that dictates the titles that we get. Miss, Ms., Mrs., that you go and pursue a PhD just so you can be doctor. Like, I thought about that, you know, like, my mother and I had this discussion the other day of how men, boys, get to be master and then mister. You know, being master as children and then mister as adults, and that's it. Unless they become doctors, in which case it becomes doctor. But a woman, a girl goes from miss to if she gets married, she becomes Mrs., and if she gets divorced, she becomes Ms. It's like, why? What meaning do these titles serve? And then we got a mix. I am illegally hot. Well, I mean, true. This shouldn't be allowed on Twitch. I'm too fucking gorgeous for this platform, quite frankly. You don't have to be divorced to be a Ms. Well, I mean, I'm a Ms. technically, just because I thought it sounded apropos. I don't know. Kids are called master. Sons, boys, young boys are. Girls are just Miss. I've heard that. I don't know if it's really used commonly. I mean, how often do you refer to children by titles? Realistically speaking, especially, you know, common conversation. Enid Blyton books. Yeah, like it's a formality that almost no one really uses. But as far as I am aware, young boys are called master and young girls are called miss. It depends on if you're a butler. A submarine master, Wayne. Always a master, daddy, and so do my partner. Enid Blyton, there's a name I've not heard in a minute. We've located the source of this year's bushfire. Abigail dropped a hot selfie on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram for some reason, or TikTok if you fancy it. I really should post something on TikTok. What the fuck can I post on TikTok? Somebody give me ideas. I don't know what people put on there. I genuinely do not have a clue. Like, what do you put on there? What do you put on TikTok? Today's look, it's a look. It's a look. I'm not gonna lie. Put my clips there. I need good ones first. I need good clips. This is the problem. Do the Bartman dance. Excuse me. Can I, like, do things? Well, it depends what things you want me to do. There are certain things I'm certainly not allowed to do on Twitch. I want to do Skirt Go Spinny, but, like, you can't look... No. Not risking that. No way in hell. You posted your own music on TikTok and got copy striked by yourself. How? Burp compilations? I could do that. I need to start, you know, putting out really hot and spicy takes and then posting them on TikTok or something. Or like getting out a point in the span of a minute so that I can then clip that and put it on TikTok. You know. Here we go. What have we got here? I love how anytime I post a selfie with these earrings in people, there's always going to be at least 1 or 2 people who compliment the earrings. You can thank her for these. Post a video of you being attacked by a magpie while riding a bike. All the magpies I've seen around here are really chill. I don't know what the deal is. I've been swooped entirely once. They all seem to just hang out. I look beautiful. Thank you kindly. I feel it. I feel the gender euphoria tonight. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. After like, so what there? English.
Thank you.
Hey, Vamps, thank you so kindly for the tier 1 for 7 months, you entire legend. I got really confused recently, and somebody subscribed for like 3 months, and I thought they could subscribe in a 3-month batch, and that's what the message was telling me. That's not what the message was telling me. No, it was just they subscribed for that many months so far. Thank you so kindly, Vamps, for saying I look amazing, but also the sub, of course. So... Also, what would an androgynous hermaphrodite be called? Whatever pronouns they want to be called. That's up to them. You ask them. Anyway, if you're that confused, you just ask them. It's not that difficult, I promise. What was I going to say? Oh, something relevant to what we're talking about. Now you could call them their name. That might be a good idea. Generally speaking, if I don't know how to refer to somebody, I will ask them or I will refer to them by name. There was a point I was going to make here before Vamp sub hit, and I don't know what it was. Oh, gender euphoria related. What was it? Goodness me. What was it? Does anyone know what was in my head a second ago? Like a couple of minutes ago? I had a thought. There are no hermaphrodites, which is why it's not a medical term. Well, true. Saw a TikTok from an intersex envy who was technically cis because they were literally assigned non-binary at birth. Interesting. That's interesting. Oh my goodness. Master Abigail. No. Well, you didn't derail. I had a thought and then it just went out the window. Mistress Abigail. Lady of the Night. Felt some gender euphoria the other day. Was listening to some 70s rock you listened to as a teen and realized you become the man you always wanted to be. Hell yes. Madame Abigail. It sounds like I run a brothel, which to be fair I probably would. If I had the income to run a brothel. Hell yeah, let's do it. I would manifest like a safe sex working locale if I could. Employ good security. Have good benefits. Making me sound like a Souls boss. I hope so. Speaking of Souls bosses, I played the Elden Ring network test. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I mean, it's over now. I can give you a bit of a... I mean, let's be real with you now. Like, everyone who does, like, the big Souls content is probably already said everything there is to be said about the network test. I could probably go and watch, like, say, Lance McDonald's video or Vati's video or anything like that. I didn't sign an NDA. Like, I just got my email that said, you've gotten into the network test. Here's your code. Here's the times the network test is available. You can blah, 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 blah. And I was able to get in, play. It was honestly relatively bug-free for the 7 or 8 hours of the actual 15 hours of network test I was able to play. It was relatively bug-free. There were a bunch of different classes you could play as to give you a feel for different playstyles. It's really, really polished, gorgeous game on PS4. Honestly, just riveting visuals. I don't know how they managed to do that. One thing that really stands out to me, and I'm not saying that From Software's games are like desaturated or whatever. They've always had a relatively muted palette. Let's put it that way. They've had moments where, like, the color really pops in certain segments of their games. But I'm going to put out a controversial opinion here. Dark Souls 3 was so fucking grey. Holy shit. And I am so pleased to see that Elden Ring has gone the complete opposite direction. It's a very vibrant, colourful game. Okay. there's a Bloodborne character named Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. And honestly, with regards to Castlevania, if you are thirsting for a new Castlevania game, this is not new, it came out 6 years ago, play Bloodborne. Honestly, if you want a game that evokes Castlevania from what little I know of Castlevania, just play Bloodborne. Honestly, it's so good. If you have a PS4, feet, yes, I agree. I have those. You may not see them. I mean, I'm wearing the programmer socks, so I mean you can see foot in sock, but that's about all you're gonna get. Strength build looks that way. I sort of played around with strength a little bit. I didn't really go too in depth with builds. I mostly just played around with the different default classes available, and I found the Twin Blade. The motherfucking Twin Blade is back, baby. Which is a weapon from Dark Souls 2. And also Power Stancing is back. Spoilers. The Twin Blade is so fucking fun, and Power Stancing is back. I am so keen, you have no idea. Yeah, I really hope they give us PC Bloodborne at some point. For fuck's sake. Give us PC Blood... Like, what have they done? How many PlayStation 4 games have come over to Steam recently? What do we get so far? So God of War was recently released, or is coming out soon. Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone. There's been more, I think. Death Stranding was originally a PlayStation exclusive. That's 4. Bloodborne is like one of the most requested PC... What is it called? PC ports that they have never commented on. Sony, From Software, nobody's commented on it. None of them have given us any sort of indication. Trying to find and beat the first 3 Castlevania games on NES. Good luck with that, quite frankly. Tapes 2 butter knives together at the handles. Twin blades. I feel like the name Blade Staff is a better name for it than Twin Blades, because like in Dark Souls 3, the Sellsword Twin Blades was a twin pair of blades. Then, like in Dark Souls 2, the Twin Blade class was the Blade Staff thing. And then Elden Ring, we got the thingy coming back. Blade of Mercy is fun, yeah. Pardon? Rikuya would be a twin blade. Yeah. You popped in quickly to let you know I'm coming to visit in January and say hi. Rightio, Kez. Hopefully we can meet up. That would be awesome. Hell yes. The moment they give us PC Bloodborne, you'll sell a damn kidney to buy it if you have to. Sharp Staff. Yeah, Blade Staff does sound badass. It's basically the Insect Glaive, effectively. Excuse me. It's a sword. It's just 2 swords taped together, and you wield it like a staff, and you spin it around and stuff. How you doing, Draco? What's going on? What's the news? When are they going to make Young Ring for the kids? I mean, unironically, I would love to see either From Software or a competent other studio just take the format of Dark Souls or Elden Ring or whatever and just translate it to a more kid-friendly format. Pardon? What? Hollow Knight? Maybe. I think more like the 3D perspective, and I don't know what you would... I honestly like the look of, say, what's it called? I like the look of Ni no Kuni, and I feel like that would work in a Souls-like format if they were to sort of translate the gameplay across. Draco redeemed hugs. Fox redeemed hugs earlier. I'm cashing in, but I'm not showing them on stream. There we go. Hug so steamy there. TOS. Yeah, pretty much. It's debatably TOS. I mean, head pats. I'll take head pats. Thank you. I'll give them myself. Hello, Goth Boy. How's it going? You were mesmerized at a NASA video on the Pluto Ice Mountains. Ooh, that sounds cool. Tego, inside of you are two blades. One is a twin blade, the other is also a twin blade. You are internally bleeding. Oh, heck. So, Abby. So, Draco, what's going on? I mean, I'm a mega fan of like From Software games since Dark Souls, which came out in 2011. I've played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro. The first four I've played to 100% completion. Sekiro I haven't done yet, mostly because it's incredibly hard. I don't know if I have the patience to 100% Sekiro, but I've completed one playthrough of it. Did I see the model you're getting? No, I did not. You'll have to remind me. And then Elden Ring is the next game by From Software, which looks really fucking good. And I've played a bit of it in the network test, so I'm super keen on it. And it really seems like they're bringing in elements from all of their games to date. Certain features, like, all being incorporated into one big thing. And they're going, like, open world with it, and it's got tons of content. So it looks like a sort of a culmination of everything they've done over the past decade or so, which is really cool. Hang on, let me find it. Ooh, hello. That's cool. Hang on. That is neat. Look at that. Ooh. Sips Mini for scale. That's big. It big. The next game from Software. Well, now I've said it. Found a choky you need on Etsy. It's leather, but it has these chains attached to the front for someone to grab and manipulate the wearer. Ooh, sounds kinky. Might be worth grabbing. I'm just wearing my regular heart choker tonight, which, you know, the girlfriend has one of these. The girlfriend. So we sometimes wear these together. It's cute. I'd be excited too. I'm keen on a on the subject of From Software games. I'm keen on there is a Bloodborne posable figure coming out. There's three, but there's two that I'm interested in. One of them is the Hunter, and one of them is Lady Maria, and I plan on getting those at some point in the near future. They're releasing next year. One of them coming out in March, the other coming out in November. BDSM collar with chain handle slave. I'm not showing that on stream. I will say that right now. Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with this kind of thing, but yeah. The girlfriend, registered trademark. I did have to go down to the trademark office just to make sure I could register my girlfriend as my trademark. Just so we're clear. Lovely app, but thank you kindly. I'm glad you like it. Can only wear posture collars, tattoo chokers, and small collars and stuff just irritate your neck. You're too touch sensitive for them. That's understandable, yeah. I like these ones. This is, I don't know what this is, like faux leather or something. It's cheap crap, but it, you know, I don't know. It does the job, you know. A posture. So what's a posture collar? I'm intrigued. Let me see this. I think it is. Oh yeah. Damn it! I needed to sneeze and it just didn't happen. Fuck. I think I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like one of those ones that keep your neck stiff by the look of it. Like it takes up the entire, like this whole area. I don't know if I could put up with that. Jesus. There are various models of this and I cannot show it on stream. Hello, Mistress Sarah. How you going? You've never worn a choker, but you have an interest lately. I mean, it's fun to explore with these kind of things. Don't limit yourself just based on what other people might expect of you. That was one of my problems, you know, when I was younger, is I limited what I wanted to do based on what everyone else expected of me, and that's why it took me 32 years to transition. 31, technically. Whatever. Who cares? You know. Oh, goodness. The ones you like, you rarely get the chance to wear. Understandable. Yes. I can throw a spanner in the works. I hate this. I'm really sniffly lately. I come back onto my return stream, and well, actually, yeah, Jaeger. It's very similar to the things EMTs use, but it's a kink-based one. It's a stiff collar you wear for kink reasons. Your ex always wears a collar around. I mean, if you're curious if a girl is trans, check if she's wearing one of these fucking things. 100% rate of clocking them, you know. We give ourselves away. We wear the stupid fucking chokers. Evil trans girls be like, fix my choker. I want to get one of those ones that's just like got the ring in the middle. Just like the leather band with the ring in the middle. Really simple one. Really basic one. I like that stuff. It's been, honestly, that's one of the things, I still can't remember, like, I'm going to come back to, like, gender euphoria for a second. I still can't think of what it was that I was going to say earlier, that I've lost my train of thought on. But anyway, it's honestly been great going from, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, my fashion choices before were not bad, I don't think. I think I definitely made choices for clothing I did genuinely like before I transitioned. But I liked, you know, I made choices to buy specifically masculine clothes because I was trying to be specifically masculine before I transitioned. And now, you know, it feels like my wardrobe options are a lot more open nowadays because have you been in a men's clothing shop? It's various shades of grey, beige, and brown. It's not exactly exciting. But, you know, beforehand, like, I did enjoy the clothes I would purchase. I did enjoy, like, I've still got some of the old t-shirts I used to wear, like my Dark Souls and Bloodborne shirts and stuff. Like, I would buy that stuff. I like wearing branded t-shirts that show off things I like on them. That's just the best way to say, like, I'm a fan of this thing. And then you see blokes getting around wearing Nazi black metal shirts, which is honestly not reassuring. But beside the point. You know, branded t-shirts are fun. So, you know, honestly, since coming out, I feel like my wardrobe has distinctly varied quite a lot, which is good. I like the fact that I've got a little bit more variety in there now. Don't tell all the secrets, I won't. Now, I do have a new Dark Souls top. I do. I've got one that just says, you died, and it's the best thing in the world. Oh, what's this? What have you sent me, Paige? Ooh, hello. Oh my, okay. That's kinda cute as fuck. Holy shit. I adore this. Do it, fuckface. Hey. Okay, fine. I love you. There we go. I unmuted my mic for that one. I called her a fuckface on microphone, so now I've got a simp. You know, I've got to be... Really though, that is so fucking cool. Look at that. That is badass. Pardon? Oh, 2 left. Shit. So you have to get it soon. Unless they come back in stock. True. That is so fucking cool though. Like, what would you wear it with? What would you wear that with? I'm curious. What would you folks wear that particular collar with? Because it feels like you'd need something. I don't know what though. Wish there was more of an overlap between clothes you like and clothes that look good on you. You can, I mean, I get that. Actually, I was going to say, like, you know, make those clothes look good on you. Get them, wear them, style them however you like. But that's also a tricky business to get into, really. Because, like, don't get me wrong, there are certain clothes that I won't wear because I don't think they will look good on me. What? Yeah, black. Men's clothes suck. Before your SO started, dressing GNC clothes shopping with them was a pain. Yeah. As a goth, I wear black skinny jeans, black shirt, black hoodie, and combat boots with your biker jacket. That's based. Hell yes. I generally dress pretty goth going out, but today I wore a sundress over my workout gear because I was wearing like basically bikini essentially, like the tight short shorts and the tight workout bralette. It's not a bikini, not the same kind of, but you know, very, very short, revealing activewear. And I was like, I might not wear this out. So I just chucked on a cute yellow sundress, which was fun. It's a very cute one. I like it. Yes, Abigail loves a woman. It is fucking gay. It's the gayest thing ever. I swear to God, like, you have no idea how gay it is. You didn't have a... Oh, you didn't have a mini meltdown at hearing the L word. Well, good. Good. Skirts and t-shirts. That's something I haven't tried yet. Like, I've done skirts and certain specific tops, but I've never done just like a branded t-shirt with a skirt. I don't think I'd like the look. There's something about it that to me just says... Like, and this is just my own personal weird mind fuckery that's going on with it. You know, as a trans woman, I'm already, you know, intensely thinking about what everyone else thinks of me. And I've seen this thing every so often where, like, blokes put on a skirt. And they just put on a skirt like they put on jeans, right? So they've just got a skirt on and then a top, just a t-shirt. So, to my mind, I'm terrified people are going to see me that way. Of like wearing a skirt, but that's like it's dramatically overthinking the scenario for no good reason whatsoever. Tight shirt tucked into the, you know, there's a thought, but you know, generally speaking, I accessorize I style the top with the skirt so that I'm wearing something that's, you know, appropriate. Generally speaking, I'm wearing a skirt right now with this, which I think works. You know. I'm just dunking on lazy femboys. Fuck them. But like this works. You know, get some tips, femboys. Someone once had on 3 chokers based. More chokers. Excuse me. Non-binary kilt, black sporran waistcoat, no shirt under it, and that collar. I'd need to look up what half of those words mean, but you know. Your t-shirts and nerd shirts and band shirts, so you don't have many options. That's the problem, right? That's kind of the thing. A lot of people do just end up buying a whole bunch of t-shirts related to things they like or are invested in. So a lot of their wardrobe just becomes t-shirts. Because t-shirts are easy. T-shirts don't require a lot of accessorization. T-shirts are what you wear when you don't really have much of a statement to make. But if you want to make a statement with your fashion... You want to catch eyes, you need to accessorize. Recently got some old shoes from a neighbor, cleaned them thoroughly, and they look amazing with jeans, a grey shirt, and leather jacket. Ooh, hell yes. More chokers. You like to grip the neck. The kilt is black, but has the NB flag colours in the pleats, and the sporran is basically like a purse look. Oh, yeah, I've seen those. The NB flag in the pleat sounds fucking awesome. Hell yes. Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Speaking of shirts with skirts. I mean, I don't know. I just never tried it. I guess I've never tried it, and I don't like the sound of it. I don't know. But that's just my own mental bullshit going on. Used to have a lot of t-shirts from your dad with various boomer band prints. They're ridiculously oversized, so you use them as nightgowns. That's adorable. Oversized t-shirts as nightgowns. That's where it's at. Okay? I need more shirts. Like, I need to start buying shirts in like 6XL. Oh my, you serious? You did not need to do that. We just bought a PS5 together. Now she's buying me a collar. Okay. Okay. Pardon? Yes, we have a PS5. Well, no. Here's the thing, right? We don't have a PS5 as such. We have what basically amounts to an NFT of a PS5. In that we have a receipt that says we own a PS5. We've paid $749.95 for a receipt. But I can show you the receipt and I can say, look, Look, I technically own the receipt that says I own that PS5. We don't have it yet. If nothing else, it's got more value than an NFT, realistically. Because I'm going to actually eventually have the physical thing. Eventually. We're assuming sometime within the next month. Like I think they said they'll get them in between mid-November, mid-December. So, fingers crossed before Christmas, we'll be playing some video games on our PlayStation 5. But yeah, like it's a weird thing to... It's a weird thing to have to pre-order a console a year after the cunt came out. Why are we doing this? What'd you say? I'll put it in you. Okay, put it in me when it arrives. I mean, I could wear it in the bedroom if you want. Don't mind me, I'm just dirty flirting with my girlfriend in the next room while I'm live on twitch.tv. All the things I'm gonna do with that collar, oh my goodness. Oh fuck. You're super pissed off at the moment. Bullshit ass turfs moving to fucking Instagram. Okay, have you got anything to show us on Instagram? I'm curious. Y'all want a break? I mean, we are at about halftime with my stream. We could take a break real quick and then come back. I am going to be playing Demon's Souls. Yes. Excuse me. You're growing old, so you jump at the word boomer. How old are you though? How old is a boomer? Like somebody made a really weird remark on Twitter about the whole use of the term like boomer games, referring to like Doom themed, like Doom styled shooters, that kind of thing, like, you know, retro shooters, 90s shooters. Oh, those are boomer shooters, and someone really took umbrage with the fact that they were using that terminology, despite the fact that pretty much everybody universally agreed it's like, oh, haha, because they're old shooters and they play differently to new shooters. So they're boomer shooters. And someone was like losing their mind about the fact that boomer has a very specific socio-political definition, referring to a generation of people that have generally caused a whole heap of shit problems. Has anyone else ever thought about the fact that boomers, broadly speaking, are the source of a lot of the problems we have in society today, and they all grew up during the era of people eating lead paint chips? A thought. Boomers are people over 30, right? I mean, arguably. Carrie, how you going? I'm glad you think I look fantastic. I think I put a bit of effort into tonight's look. Speaking of Terse, you're afraid they're onto us with Shinigami Eyes. Yes, actually. They actually found out about Shinigami Eyes. Oh no! Not the Shinigami Eyes extension. They're making a list of transes. They're making a list of people. It's a hit list. They're going to come after us. The projection is fucking insane. Boomers are in their 70s. Yeah, boomers are old cunts. Like, let's be real with ourselves here. Boomers are fucking old. They're on their way out, generally speaking. Sadly, though, they had children. They should have just stopped. Honestly. They grew up with fake snow made from asbestos. Their houses were painted with lead. There's a reason there are so many issues with modern society, and it stems directly from the fact that they were killing their brains. Jesus. They're treating Shinigami Eyes as if it were the list Andy No made for Atomwaffen. Atomwiffen? What's that one? And Boomer buys up properties and jack up rent. Yeah, exactly. Boomers are those guys from New Vegas. Also boomers, why are adults living with their parents? You've played New Vegas? I've played some of New Vegas. Adam Waffen. Oh, okay. Nuclear weapons. Okay. This is news to me. I need to spend a significant amount of time just sitting down reading Wikipedia articles about shit. Someone should just give me a list of Wikipedia articles to read so I can just go through those and not actually source anything. Just like inform my opinions based on Wikipedia. I think I'm a millennial, technically. I'm a late stage millennial. I'm one of the old ones. I'm a boomer millennial. There you go. There's a tongue twister. Neo-Nazi terrorist group in the US who used a list made by Andy Ngo to target... Andy Ngo? To target people to kill. Oh, I see. Yes. Obama is early Gen X, you're late Gen X. Talked to some actual boomers the other day about music from their youth. Cool beans, actually. Well, I mean, that's neat. That's neat. 24 days before Chernobyl blew up. When was that? The bisexual pride flag. I could do that one. We should talk about bisexual erasure and toxic masculinity after I come back from the break. There's a couple of things we can chat about. I'm born 1993 on this exact day. Well done. Another happy birthday for Tego. I'm going to take a quick BRB and piss my pants. I'm gonna piss. Not actually gonna piss my pants, but like a woman, I'm gonna go and stand up to piss. Because I'm sure there are some TERFs out there who legitimately think we actually do stand to pee. Like, it's honestly uncomfortable. If you tried standing to pee, it's not the nicest sensation. You want to relax when you're relieving your bladder. Anyway, be back in a few. What's up, you absolute fucking bellends? I'll take that. I want that drink. She has a drink for me, but she doesn't want. What do you want me to like kiss you for it?
Sure. Okay. If you suggested that pretty quickly.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
There we go. You have to do a kiss to get the lemon lime and bitters. Oh yeah, that fucking asshole cat. That's alright. Fucking asshole cat got into this area. He was like locked in the kitchen because we wanted him away. I haven't read anything yet. I just sat down. Everyone chill for a second. I have to crack up my Schweppes lemon lime and bitters. Not sponsored, by the way. I just like to shill for corporations. They're not going to give me any money because they're bigger than I'll ever be. Oh, anywho. That's good shit. 0 sugar. Let me come back. So, ever since you came to terms with yourself as gender fluid, you're on the fence about calling yourself trans. You know, gender fluid counts, but you're scared some asshole will be like, you're not transitioning, you're not a real trans. Reminds me of like, hang on, lately you're leaning more to the side of fucking come at me, brud. You don't decide how I can and can't identify. Reminds me of, I think it was James Stephanie Sterling's recent video. Oh, laser pointer, here. Here you go. James Stephanie Sterling, or Steph Sterling, or the Jimquisition, or whatever, recently opened her their video with a whole thing about how, like, trolls have been saying, you'll never be a real woman, and all this kind of nonsense. And they're just like, well, no, because I'm non-binary, which is a good way to shut that whole thing down, isn't it? What's up? Don't point it. No, okay. Laser pointer. I might plug that in, actually. Plug that in and let it charge. Oh, I can't. I don't have an available USB slot. Anyway, we're back. We're talking about stuff. We'll talk about things. Okay, as requested, here's a list of the United States war crimes. Speaking of United States war crimes, Chelsea Manning was recently streaming like Minecraft on Twitch with some friendos. That was cool. I wish I was a part of that. That would be neat. I want to play Minecraft with Chelsea Manning. How do I get in on that action? That'd be badass. You need some water. Get yourself some water, Queen. Hydrate. You're open to anyone who is not cisgender is transgender. I'm confused. What do you mean? The US is a war crime. It really is. Pardon? I'm just having a fucking crisis. Best way to describe me is like NB trans femme demi fuck girl. Too many labels. I'm gonna be that person. I don't give myself too many labels. I'm just a girl, a woman who does internet streams. I don't know. I don't like to overly define myself beyond the few basic ones. But I mean, to each their own, I suppose. Yeah, there's... Oh, God. I'm just, like, scrolling down the list of contents in this United States War Crimes Wikipedia article. War rape is one thing that just immediately pops out at me. Goodness gracious me. Woman, parentheses, mine. True. That's technically correct. That's... Never actually looked into the list of United States War Crimes. You know what isn't a war crime? This stream sponsor, North Shadow Fresh. What? Nord Shadow Legends. I streamed Raid Shadow Legends once. I intensely regret doing that. I should have waited for them to hit me up in the DMs or something. Although some enemies don't identify themselves as trans, which is also valid. Yes, true. They are completely free to identify themselves as not trans if they want to. Labels are a double-edged sword. I could be as simple as FemMB or my whole spiel. Exactly. Like, this is the tricky area with the labels thing, because I've had a few videos, at least one video relating to lesbians recently. And of course, the TERFs have come out of the woodwork arguing entirely non-feminist viewpoints that lesbians are strictly, specifically homosexual women, right? They really want to argue that point specifically. And I posted a poll, and this is not exactly universal, but it's got more credence behind it than whatever poll was used for that BBC article we covered recently, which was about lesbians. That's where the context is. But I posted a Twitter poll yesterday, got over 200 and... was it over 300 votes? I can't recall specifically. Let me find it really quickly. And I just asked the question, are you attracted to appearance, personality, or sex biology? And 3.1% of 286 respondents voted sex biology. The vast majority at 88.5% voted personality and 8.4% voted appearance, which is honestly kind of surprising. I would have felt more people would have voted appearance. Because I meant, like, I should have phrased the question a bit better, but like most, I said, what are you most attracted to? I should have said, what are you initially attracted to? I'm going to throw this out there. No one's initially attracted to sex biology. People are attracted to the person for various facets that are not as deep as, do they have testes, ovaries, certain chromosomes, or any, like, no one's thinking that deep about it. No one is thinking about their partner's potential gametes unless they're specifically looking to breed. Like, let's be real with ourselves here. Childbearing hips. Yes, we had this discussion. The GF and I had this discussion about how the GF, registered trademark, had this discussion of the only time, like, I've spoken to so many people over the years, and they're generally speaking, if you ask them what they're most attracted to, like, some people will go on and waffle about personality, but, you know, if you ask someone, what do you think is hot on the kind of people you're attracted to, they'll tell you, like, tits, ass, legs, chest, muscles, butts, and all that. Like, they'll tell you about characteristics you can look at a glance. It's like, oh, I like people who have, like, this particular eye shape or face shape. I like chicks with big tits. Like, they won't tell you that they like that person's chromosomes. They don't like their DNA. That's not what they're looking at, unless they're, like, legitimately a white supremacist looking for a specific kind of partner. But generally, those people aren't exactly peak human specimens themselves, right? People aren't attracted to, and yeah, again, we'll come back around to this point really quickly. The explicitly one time someone was really attracted to what you would argue is sex biology as a characteristic was when I was in my teens. Like, literally, we were like 16 or something. Me and my then regular circle of friends were having a bit of a chit chat about what we found hot, you know, as teenagers do. It's kind of cringe looking back. And I said tits. I like tits. But anyway, the one member of the group specifically mentioned he liked wide childbirthing hips. Like, very specifically wanted hips that could bear a child. Like, it was, we were like 15, 16, not exactly, I don't know why at that age he was specifically thinking about his legacy that early on. That's the only time I've ever heard someone, when you ask them the question, what are you into when it comes to partners? He wanted someone who could churn a kid out, you know? That's the only time I've ever heard anyone really explicitly wanting a biological trait for the purposes of procreation. I keep going to say recreation. Procreation. I do not think it's a stretch to say that the vast majority of people are heterosexual. Let's say that, first and foremost. The majority of people are heterosexual, they are. But they're attracted to people beyond what can their bodies do internally. Even that transphobic BBC story talked about lesbians who were attracted to trans women until they found out they were trans. Exactly. And here's the thing, like, specifically with regard to lesbians, like, if you are attracted, like that person I mentioned ago, to a certain sex biological makeup, how's that going to apply when it comes to being gay? Like, if you're attracted to someone who might be able to give you a child, your own child, okay, fine. I can understand that perspective. If you want to have your own biological children with your partner, yeah, I get it. Like, you want someone who can bear children. I understand that perspective. I don't think, like, breeders are fucking weird, but I get it. I know that's what you want. I understand that. But with regards to gay folks, who are generally looking for partners that are probably very similar to themselves, broadly speaking, why does it matter? I mean, again, I don't care if you have a genital preference or not. It's like, why does it matter what their specific biological makeup is, generally speaking? Like, if we come back to that trans woman, that lesbian who said she was attracted, like, I think I remember the story was specifically, she was attracted to, like, she went on a date with a trans woman, slept with the trans woman. I think she slept with the trans woman. Everything was going great until the trans woman said, "Oh, by the way, I'm trans." So she's had the surgery. They've fucked at this point. She's had the surgery and then said, "Oh, by the way, I'm transgender." Then she had a problem. She was completely into them until it came out she was trans. Why? What fucking difference does it make at that point? Now, don't get me wrong, you can break up with someone over anything. You can, realistically, like, go ahead. But why was that the deal breaker? What's the issue there? If everything matches up, if you have a genital preference and everything lines up, like, if you're a lesbian, I hate to break it to you, sis, but you're not having biological kids with your lesbian girlfriend. It's not that you're only attracted to cis people, so you're afraid you might be attracted to a trans person without realizing it. Bingo. Like, the age-old trope of basically 50% of the writing of How I Met Your Mother is Ted being absolutely terrified that the woman he's dating has a penis. Or had. Anyway, like, it's that kind of thing. Trans panic, yeah. Like, what is the actual problem? And the justifications, the excuses, they don't actually have any valid reasoning behind them. You know, honestly, this is a controversial take. The most valid reason I can think of is if there are heterosexual people. If there is a man who is attracted to women because the man and the woman want to have kids together. That's the only valid reasoning I can think of. Short of that, if you're seeking a partner, and even then, like, you can adopt. But I mean, I guess I understand some people want to pass on their genetic seed. I had to. You know, I had to. Anyway, to me, it's looks are nice, but not mandatory. Yeah. Like, I scored someone who looks nice and is a great person, so, you know, go me, very poggers. Anyway, some people are decided to pass on their cummy wummies. I have decided to die. I think there could be another reason here. Like, I immediately thought it was transphobia, but it could just be like a communication thing. Like, if you weren't comfortable with telling me, are you really comfortable with me at all? Do you mean, Tom Badills, with regards to if you slept with a trans person post-op, so everything lines up, you never would have known otherwise? Do you mean like you've slept with them and then they tell you after the fact? Because, like, I feel like that might be one of those things where it's, you know, I realize I can trust this person enough to share this information with them. I think there are still a lot of trans people out there who are post-operative, who've had the surgery and all of that, who would generally just like to go stealth. And that's the problem. That's where this distrust issue arises surrounding trans people. Like, that's part of the whole trans panic thing, is people think this person took advantage of me and had sex with me and they lied to me about this and that and the other. When the reality is they are equal. It's like a snake. That's a bad example, but I'm going to use it anyway. Snakes are terrified of you as a human being. You're bigger than them. This is why snakes bite people, because they also know they've got a weapon that they can use to defend themselves. But generally speaking, a snake wants you to leave it the fuck alone, right? Same with spiders, same with other little animals that we perceive as like, this thing is fucking dangerous. It's going to kill me. But they're terrified of us. We're bigger than them. We could crush a snake underfoot. A spider. We've got the strength advantage there. You know, that's how it goes with regards to trans people and cis people in relationships. Like, cis people see trans people as these deceptive, predatory, vile monsters. But the reality is, a lot of trans people are terrified of revealing themselves as trans because have you seen the way that society treats us? We have every right to want to conceal that part away, and like, there's a reason there's a lot of trans people out there who are stealth. But now, because it is such a prominent discourse, I think it was Epolite, who recently mentioned on Twitter that she was stealth for a good long while there, and only recently came out and said, "Yeah, I'm actually trans." I think she's been transitioning for like over a decade or something like that, and was living stealth, and has only recently came forward and said, "I'm a trans person as well," to show solidarity. But I think a lot of TERFs hate girls with snakes. So do Catholics. But yeah, not the best example, but you know, just generally speaking, we're more afraid of you than you have any reason to be afraid of us, you know. And yeah, shout out Epolite for it. Okay, the shout out's not going to work. My bot's not working, is it? I've only just noticed this. The bot is not working. Yeah. I didn't turn it off. I turned the, I have to log my bot back in. Oh, shit. You're sending it to my email, you cunt? Okay. For God's sake, Authenticator, send it to my... I didn't notice. I legitimately did not notice. That's how trash I am at streaming. I take 9 days off. And my stupid... What the hell? Okay. I've logged into one of my 5 email accounts. Yes, I have 5 email accounts, and I've got so many notifications for Twitter for some reason. People in Bendigo shared this. I don't give a fuck what people in Bendigo are doing. I'm nowhere near that. Who gives a fuck? Here we go. We're putting the bot back on. Go follow Epolite. Epolite's great. There we go, connect. Did that work? There we go, the bot should be connected now. Let's just try that again. See if that worked. No, it did not. I have to connect it to my channel as well. No? Okay. It's connected. I don't know. This is weird. I'm gonna close the chat bot and reopen it for a second. Hang on. We're having a good chat here, and we had to ruin it by the bot not paying attention. How dare them? They. My bots are they, them. So, you know, just so you're aware, my bot has pronouns. You get the want to conceal it, but like personally have major issues with trauma and abuse. Feel like it could have been a big communication red flag. Granted, this is generally why I can't find myself attracted to someone I'm not already very close to. But yeah, but like that could be the same on their end as well. Is the way I would respond to that. We're just going to keep trying to shout out Epolite and see if it works. There we go! We did it. Success has been had. Yeah, it's a bit tricky to try to program a non-binary bot, but anyway. Anywho, like, this is like, I think the trauma is on, it's not that funny, calm down. Shh, don't say, I'm live, you can't say that word. Even though I've said it before, but you know. What was I going to say? Yeah, like, the issue there is like, okay, you've got trauma and abuse issues that might be related to a lack of communication, and I completely understand on that perspective. Like, I've been, I'm just going to come around and say it, as someone who has been gaslit, I am very, very frustrated whenever I see people abusing the term gaslighting, especially with regard to trans people. I lived with real gaslighting. Shut the fuck up, thank you. However, like, it's one of those situations where it's like, that trans person may have intense trauma of having said to a person I'm trans and having a visceral response. So as a result, they go stealth and they want to hide that factor away of themselves. And I don't begrudge them that. They have every right to keep that thing to themselves. But yeah, like the issue is, and especially in a world that is notably transphobic. So many trans people are going to want to try to go stealth if they can, especially in the pursuit of potential partners. Excuse me. Because, you know, they're not going to... This was an argument made, the common turf argument made was that if you transition, you're less likely to find partners and things like that, which is not necessarily true. Like, that's just a nonsense argument. But, you know, that does feed into that whole idea, is like if a trans person is unable to find partners because we live in a transphobic society, that's really more the fault of the society itself and not the trans people, given how often we see transphobic rhetoric peddled in mainstream media all the fucking time. You trust me with my whole being, but they're still... Yeah, exactly. And it's probably the same thing on the inverse. You know, there's a lot of things I don't say about myself. Why be trans if there is so little amount of partners? What does that even mean? Honestly, bro. Please elaborate upon your point. I'm curious. Because ignoring that you are doesn't make it stop being the case. Yeah, like... I genuinely want to hear, like, your specific extenuation on that point. Who hurt you? Still fail to understand this mindset of being mad when your partner reveals they're trans. Like, you date this girl, go to her place one night, and she's like, I'm trans. How do you get mad at that? She trusts you with that information. Precisely. Right? That's one of my main things, is like, okay, this person clearly wants to share this information with you, something like a deep secret that is crucial to their identity, right? It's a deep part of them that they can't detach from. They can't just put that away, as much as some of them would want to, you know. Yeah, it's an incredibly meaningful thing. And to be personally umbraged by that, to take such great offense that, as we've seen before numerous times, the trans panic thing, people lashing out and attacking someone when that person just gave you such a depth of trust, is reprehensible. We've tried being trans, it doesn't go away. Yeah, I tried that for a while. It sucks, you know. And this reminds me, we always tend to get caught in just some kind of deep trans discussion on this channel. I have got trans in my title, so it makes sense. It's not the only thing I talk about. I spent a good chunk of the first part of the stream talking about Elden Ring. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. There was a tweet I saw recently that was along the lines of, so when did you discover you were trans, right? And I think this goes for a lot of us when we realize there wasn't really ever one specific point. For me personally, there were numerous points throughout my life where I was like, I can look back and say to myself, oh, I realized then, and because of the way that the world around us is structured, I'm going to stop saying society, but, you know, generally speaking, I've seen so much transphobic media, I've heard so much transphobic shit from people around me, that it wasn't really necessarily that I hid it deep down inside myself and I was, like, actively trying to prevent myself from transitioning, so much so that it was, I saw that the world around me could not accept me for who I was, so I repressed it and just went back to pretending to be a boy or whatever it was. And I convinced myself. And then later on I'd have another realization like, oh shit, did you forget you're actually a girl? And yeah, that was a whole thing. So, you know, it took me a long time to come to terms with it, but I discovered it several times. Like, which one do you mean exactly? Be trans, yeah. You can't choose to be trans, yeah. Which is a weird thing. Like, they think it's some kind of choice, like some kind of decision. It's like playing a new video game. I heard about this trans thing. I might give it a crack. Sounds good. We just want to hug them and let them know, You're happy they told me and they're safe with me. I like them for them, not for whatever genetics and genitals they have. Yeah. You didn't choose it, but before everyone knew you weren't cis, you were still trans. You're just a hell of an actor. Yeah, exactly. Had a dozen some odd clues that you never put together until recently. You looked back and was like, oh, yeah, I've noticed that too. Like, I've had a lot of things hit me all in succession. Looking back now, there's a whole bunch of traits from like my childhood through my teens through my 20s where I'm just like, oh shit, there's a lot in there that should have been a massive hint. Still unpacking some internalized phobia. It sounds like your experience too. Transition is a journey. It really is. There's a lot of stops along the way. There's a lot of things you're going to discover. I didn't hear what you said. Okay. When you told your mum you were dating an NB, she was like, are you non-binary too? And I was like, a bit of a moment perhaps. A bit of a moment. Anyway. Transition is a journey. Better arrange some. I'm waiting for it. Transportation. Massive envy of women and trans women was a big clue for me. I remember watching a Contra video and she looked so pretty and you got so envious. Yeah. Was it envy by any chance? Was it the video envy? I remember seeing like this argument against trans people like we're doing it for attention. You know, this idea that trans people are transitioning or non-binary people are transitioning for attention. What, like, you've seen the way people generally talk about us, right? You've seen the attitude thrown at us all the time. You've seen the way that people are treating us. Why would anyone do this for attention? Why would anyone do this shit just to get some more likes on Instagram or something? Like, I don't think it's worth the constant death threats. Hey,
I see
Tazzy
you brought
Gamer.
Guests. Welcome.
Thank you for
friends.
bringing some friends over. How you going? How was your stream? Tell us all about it. Here's some lights. You're with the raid. How'd the stream go? Tell us all about it. How was Fortnite? Break it down for us, would you kindly? Did that work? My lights didn't work. My lights didn't work. I wanted the pretty flashy lights. There we go. Hello, raiders. Excuse me. I'm drinking some lemon lime bitters. Got one Vic Royale. Hell yes. Well done. Well done. I got a soundboard. We can give you cheers to that one. Congratulations. Heck yeah. I remember when I was streaming Apex a while back, when Apex first came out. And I remember getting my first victory on stream. It was fucking wild. Like, I don't think I won any. I might have won like 2 or 3 more games total. And then I ended up dropping that, but you know, it was alright while it lasted. You have to pretend you're neurotypical most of the time. So if somebody trusts me enough to tell me they're trans, you tend to feel comfortable enough to tell them what you're walking around with, which is understandable. Yeah, exactly. You know. I mean, I've had that situation before where, you know, being neurodivergent. Why do I have news in here? I should get rid of the news tag. Hang on, let me fix that up. Let's put neurodivergent tag on because we might as well. That's a bit more relevant. Hello. Oh, you stealing?
Thank you for continuing your membership.
Flip me off while you steal my drink. Spark, thank you so kindly for the Prime. Shay has redeemed hugs. So, in order to pay for that drink you just stole, how dare you? Pretty sure they can hear that, you know. Oh my god, you're redeeming everything all at once. I get head pats. Fuck yes. I like head pats. Why did I have head pats? Because it's a cringe trans girl thing for the time being, for the meme. We'll do some yo-yo. Here's a flex for you. Us. Yeah, true. Where are we? Shay, that's it. And you've redeemed like everything. I don't have my ring on tonight because I'm wearing my gloves. Hydrate. I'll do that one first. Fuck it. Thank you for giving a heck, by the way. Helena Domino. Hello. How you doing? Crossing, thank you for giving a heck. Could chat hear the smoochies? There were smoochies. Belchaletta.
Why?
Alright, yo. I really got to raise the price on this one. Because it's like a whole performance thing. I mean, I'm not good at it, mind you. Very clearly good. Here we go. Here's some yo-yo. Yo-yo. How you doing? I'm not good at yo-yoing. I can't do any tricks or nothing. That was sort of something. I guess maybe, kinda. Whoop. You know what? Why? Because I requested it. Fucking hell. Goodness me. Alright. On the trans realization stuff, can you share one of your earliest moments that should have been a hint to your transness? Go ahead. Oh, goodness me. You want to see Zenny? Okay, let's see. Let's change our lights back. Oh, this sick partner. I hope they get well soon. Go back to purple lights. Anyway. What was I going to say? I was going to say something and I forgot. There was a good point made about the dick. About cocks. There was a good point made about cocks. Excuse me. Which is generally speaking a lot of the transphobia stemming from men. Well, I mean, it feeds into women too, I suppose. And this goes back to age-old gay panic sort of shit. Where, you know, the old moral panic surrounding gay men was that those gay men would seek out straight men, prey on them. And then that sort of evolved into those same gay men would dress up as women to try to trick straight men. And then that evolved into this ridiculous narrative which stems largely from movies based on Ed Gein of gay men dressing up as women to go into women's bathrooms to kidnap women and murder them. And it all comes back to this idea that the penis is predatory by definition. Like, not just the person in possession of it. The penis itself is somehow a predatory organ, and having one makes you a predator. Which kind of, like, there was a thing that there was a guy who basically made this point in a tweet. A cishet man, for the record, made this point that, you know, anyone with a penis is inherently predatory. And it was kind of like a big, you know, maybe you're just talking about yourself here, like showing your whole ass to the world moment. This guy's just like, oh, by the way, anyone with a penis is inherently predatory. That's why nobody should trust trans women. Like, you're the one saying it, man. Like, we're not out there preying on people. Are you okay? Are you admitting to something? Are you admitting to a crime? Have you preyed on anyone in a park recently at like 11 o'clock at night? What's going on here? You know, it's kind of a ridiculous concept that, you know, a body part can somehow be the determining factor of whether someone's a predator. It's nonsense. And that feeds into, again, largely the transphobia on, well, it's as it stands now, it's transphobia from all sides. But, you know, how many men have you heard express, again, the How I Met Your Mother kind of viewpoint of like, oh, what if I'm interested in this woman, but that woman's actually a man with a penis and he's wearing a dress and he's trying to prey on me and have sex with my butthole? Like, that's... How many times have you heard that? You've heard that. You've heard cishet men express that viewpoint. I guarantee you have. I guarantee you have. And now it's bled over to the other side of the spectrum, where there are supposedly lesbians expressing the same terrified view, that there are men dressing up as women and pretending to be women and using the self-ID system to prey on real lesbians. Anyway, you just passed a night without female outfit. It was a very bad night. Just dreaming about lesbian romance. Feel dysphorical now. Dysphoric all night. I'm sorry to hear that. Not sleep without your boobs for sure. Aw. No Nut November. I always win. Well, I'm gonna win No Nut November because it doesn't work. So it doesn't work. It's like I'm on progesterone now, so poggy woggies. My pronouns are she, her. Maybe it's the testosterone, not the dick. Possibly. I mean, that's generally their argument too. Poggy woggies, my cummy wummies are liquid. Fuck, that's gross to read out loud. Fuck gay men who try to invalidate transness as being just confused about being gay. Like, fuck off, we know gender and sexuality aren't the same thing. Yeah, how did that get conflated? I mean, I knew that, like, the LGBTQ plus community was always about, like, marginalized identities, you know, not specifically, I mean, marginalized identities related to sexuality and gender, right? You want to delete Tommy's comment? You intend to lose NNN the first day in large libido, says no. Jealous. Fucking jealous. Your predatory penis reminds you of how in one of the Alien novels the face hugger is described as an ambulatory penis. I mean, let's not act like Geiger's artwork was anything but phallic. Like, come on. Abigail is her pronounce. True. Abigail. Anyway. So trans women should get free estrogen to solve this issue. Yes. Yes, give trans women free estrogen. Unequivocally. Unironically. Let's do it. Gonna be tough next week when your period hits and the horny comes a knocking. In the last job you had a customer who was one of those asshole predatory "you're not trans, you're gay" gays. Did anyone see the thing recently? Maybe we can review this tomorrow night because I don't think we'll have time tonight. This weird fucking thing from Graham Linehan. There's a whole post that goes along with this, right? But here's this screenshot from Linehan's blog. So let me be the first. To all the baby butch girls and femboys, I love you and I need you. We all do, just the way you are. I can't wait to see all the wonderful things you accomplish with your unique lives. Linehan's got a real issue with trans people in general. He's not talking to actual baby butch girls and femboys. He's talking to trans girls and trans boys who are discovering themselves. And he really doesn't want the transing to happen because he, like many other people associated with the LGB Alliance, because that superficial hate group, really want trans people to be coerced away from their transness and be convinced that they're gay. All the while not realizing that, you know, before I transitioned, I completely identified as a cishet man. I was explicitly interested in pussy. And now I'm still explicitly interested in women. I'm interested in women. Anyway, yeah, like if I wasn't trans, I'd be straight. Like if I was cis, I'd be straight. So that's a non-argument. Graham Linehan, well known for being a caring and open-minded person. He's so, like, honestly creepy. And yeah, transition doesn't change preference. Well, it kind of did, but not really. Like, I was into women before. I'm into women now. But I've gone from straight to lesbian. It's like, there's a bit of a... Which I know blows a few people's minds. You know, I'm interested in that butt pussy. Hey, give me that bossy boss. When you wrote the Gale bit, your phone suggested Gaylord. I mean, it's accurate. Hello, Scribbles. How's it going? That inverted pussy. You bring burgies. Where's mine? I want some burgies. Abigailord. My full name is actually Abigailord. Abigail lady. Graham Linehan is the kind of guy where if he so much as asked me for $1 for the bus, I'd walk away with my keys between my knuckles. He's so creepy. Like, unironically. I cannot think of a man who screams more sexual predator than Graham Linehan. It's like this thing with Alison Bailey recently going on about young trans boys' breasts and how they haven't felt the sexual caress of a lover. I'm like, madam, are you sure you're not a pedophile? Please stay away from any and all children and schools. Like, these people who are going on and on about trans people being predators and all this other shit, they have a tendency to say the most predatory shit you've ever heard. It's so fucking creepy and weird. I don't get it. I don't get how anyone takes them seriously. When, yeah, like, literally, I'm basically quoting her verbatim, right? Alison Bailey going on about trans men, trans boys, right? Who, yes, are developing tits, unfortunately, because that's the way, unless they get on puberty blockers, you know, fingers crossed that puberty blockers are just, like, normalized across the board for trans kids, because they should be. There's no reason for them not to be. They're only on them for about 2 years, I think, before they start cross-sex hormones. But anyway, like, they're desperately concerned. These people are desperately concerned. Alison Bailey in particular made this point about how young trans men who are developing breasts is like, they're never going to know the sexual caress of a lover. I'm like, why are you thinking this shit about 13-year-olds? What? And you're calling us creepy and weird. And then, like, the conversation continued into even stranger territory, and I'm like, why is no one drawing her before a court and checking her hard drives? Like, I swear to God, if this was a man, people would be in the comments screaming, check his hard drive. Why are we not calling for that shit? This is genuinely creepy shit, and yet... Went from a straight dude to a pan dude to a pan girl. So being a trans girl didn't change anything. Mostly cis het manly men are just kind of weird, so you're not interested in them at all. I can understand that. Yeah. People who are all about other people's genitals are creepy. Yes, exactly. Why are they so obsessed with other people's genitals? Why are they so concerned with other people's genitalia and other people's body parts? You're dying to see what figures I've got behind me. I could put the light on or something. It's very tricky. Pardon? Vess is not. She's gone away for now. My spider's been crawling around lately. Hello, Monarch. How are you? I've got a few there. I've got quite a few there. I've got Sekiro over in the corner there. I've got Sekiro Pop Vinyl. Artorias of the Abyss from Dark Souls. The Hunter from Bloodborne. Solaire from Dark Souls. The Soul of Cinder from Dark Souls 3. The Faram Knight from Dark Souls 2. And then I've got like so many other things up here, honestly. And then down there we got some cute shit too. Whoever gifted you a sub, you're welcome from probably Princess, if I recall correctly. Oh goodness. You went from a straight dude to an ace NB to a pan femme to a full-on fucking lesbian. What an adventure. I think like all of this stuff honestly stems from a whole bunch of regrettably intellectually considered people publishing woefully ill-informed scientific papers in much the same vein as Andrew Wakefield published scientific papers on vaccines. But these papers are published on trans people. So we've got people like Ray Blanchard publishing works on trans people saying that we're a sexual fetish or something like that. I saw the most absurd thing recently. Someone who claimed to be a proud Blanchardist trans person. So they were genuinely fully behind the whole idea of autogynephilia, which is just ludicrous. It's a cishet man writing about trans women in depth, in detail, in some kind of scientific thing where he had a very limited sample size to do his study. And we're supposed to believe, like what, that we're the ones that have some kind of weird sex fetish? Wasn't his paper essentially just softcore porn? I've read the Cliff Notes, yes. I haven't read the whole thing, but I do need to. Honestly, I want to just for the context. But I know the gist. I know the general gist is these trans women are sexually... Well, these transvestites, or whatever he referred to us as, are actually just men who have a sexual fetish for dressing up as a woman and all this kind of thing. And it's just unfounded garbage. It's like with the Wakefield papers. It's just unfounded garbage that was... He drew a conclusion and then worked back from that point, which is generally how you are supposed to do science, I suppose. But you're supposed to do that science from a perspective informed by other scientific perspectives, not just draw a conclusion that trans people have got some kind of sexual fetish and then work back from that to try to prove that point with very limited information. DM'd me. I'm definitely not opening our DMs on stream. So what's this? I use toxic masculinity to deny my bi-curious thoughts, hide my low self-esteem, shame, and lack of interpersonal skills. My greatest fear is that the absence of an external enemy to direct my frustration will lead me down a path of self-reflection. Holy shit. That's incredible. I fucking love it. But yeah, like the whole concept behind it is that trans people are AGP in that it's a bunch of men dressing up in dresses, getting massive throbbing erections just to whack off to themselves in a dress, and completely dismiss it. And I don't know if there's something about the sexually predatory penis in there kind of thing. I can't recall. Yeah, right. You think I can get off on HRT? Doesn't work for me. Anyway. Where were we? Thing is, and yeah, like that's exactly right, Katrina. Like the thing is, cis women get off on being femme too. It's not an unusual thing, but for some reason, when it's people who are perceived as males, all of a sudden it's an issue. Derived from the Greek love of oneself as a woman. There's a lot of concepts bounds around that seem great on the surface, but fall apart and get gross on closer inspection. Exactly. Which is, you know, patently ludicrous. And I love the fact that he's used that old Greek to try to make his idea seem more legitimate. It's like, look, I've got a sciencey term. That means my thing is real. They cannot fathom the concept of gender euphoria, so they pull the AGB concept out of their ass to fill that gap they pretend existed. I've been wearing women's clothes, my clothes, for nearly 2 years, and I've been turned on by it 0% of the time. I have heard of trans women who do experience a sensation of gender euphoria that does manifest in sexual arousal. Like it might go up, you know, because that's. I'm sure there are plenty of people with penises who've experienced it going up as a result of other euphoric things, not necessarily a sexual thing. I mean, spontaneous erections are a thing, for example. The scientific method is make a hypothesis, use data to find out what is actually happening, either amend or scrap your hypothesis depending on the results. Yes, exactly. And exactly like the article that was published by the BBC, where the information, again, it's the same thing that Blanchard did. It's like they drew a conclusion and then worked back from that, and then only used information that specifically benefited their hypothesis. Right? So their hypothesis was already that trans lesbians are predatory, and then they worked back from that and they used information that specifically reaffirmed that data until they had a study consisting of 80 people, all from very exclusively transphobic places, transphobic social media. You know, did you know that many cis women feel sexy when they dress up? What a concept! I know. Why would you even bother dressing to make yourself look sexy and pretty if you yourself didn't like it? Right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there are certainly people out there who dress up specifically to look attractive to whoever they're interested in. But I mean, there's certainly an element of I like the way I look. I dress this way not for anyone else's benefit but mine. I want to look like this. That's it. It's not my fault my girlfriend finds me fuckable in this outfit and submissive and breedable. Like, you know. You get aroused taking lewd selfies because you like seeing yourself in a sexual light. More so after a life of being disgusted by your body until you transition. Yeah, exactly. Hella cute. Goals relationship. I hope so. When skirt goes spinny and you get rapid onset gender euphoria. Submissive and tolerable. Hell yes. I've still got this United States war crimes Wikipedia page up, by the way. I haven't looked at it. Oh well. We'll come back to it. If I can't look sexually attractive to me, I have no interest in consciously trying to look attractive to someone else. Well, yeah. You know, that was kind of the reason I started working out in the first place. Is like I wanted to look what I perceived to be sexually attractive as, you know, masquerading as a man, or just as a man, you know, let's just say as a man. I started working out for the aesthetic. I wanted to look like a muscly buff guy who, you know, clearly goes to the gym and all this kind of shit, because to my own mind, that's what women were attracted to. I now have a greater understanding that there's more to attraction from women than that, of course. You know, I now realize there are many more factors. Just the fact that I know plenty of women who are attracted to men who looked nothing like me in any respect sort of proved my whole hypothesis wrong, you know. But still, the reason I started working out and the reason I started dressing a certain way and all those kind of things on, you know, both as a man and as a woman, you know, I realized that what I am trying to do for myself is there are certain things that I look at, and like I think this applies to many of us. There are certain things we look at. We are conditioned to believe certain things are attractive, broadly speaking. You know, we are conditioned to believe certain body images are attractive, and thus we style ourselves around those. It's why you will see, for example, in the 90s, there were a lot of women who emulated the Rachel haircut from Friends, because it was the biggest TV show on the planet, or in the Western world at least, and Rachel is the hot girl on Friends. So, of course, all the women started getting the Rachel haircut. Like, it was legit a thing. I think my mother had it for a bit. Everyone went out and got that haircut because that was the thing. And then, like, you see people wearing certain clothes in modeling shoots, or people styling themselves after, like, people they see on Instagram or wherever else. Hell, just wearing merch of your favorite YouTuber because you want to be somewhat like them. I've seen people who styled themselves like, honestly, trashy teenage YouTubers, but, you know, trashy teenage YouTube rich kids with, like, the bleach blonde spiked hair or whatever they're doing. I don't know. There's certain types that you'll see the different aesthetic choices emulated by other people, because they see that thing and they think, to some extent, that's attractive. I want to look like that person because clearly that person has got what I don't have. So if I look like them, I'm a step closer to being them. And that bleeds over into attraction as well. As a woman, men who go to the gym and get buff and hot isn't my type. Well, I have news for you. I'm a woman who doesn't go to the gym but still goes to get buff and hot. But it's not the point. The hot girl on Friends was Phoebe. There's a whole thread. I don't remember who posted this, but it keeps getting updated every now and then. And it's something like Phoebe on Friends was an absolute psychopath, right? And every so often I'll see this thread pop up again, and it's like so many tweets long at this point of, I forget who it is. It's not Laura Kate Dale, is it? It's someone. They keep updating this thread with more evidence that Phoebe Buffay is a psycho, is absolutely deranged. I haven't gone through it, but I keep seeing it. And I'm like, one day I'll go through that thread and just like, maybe we should find, hang on. Here's a fun activity for the class. Is it Phoebe? Come on. Who is it that posted this thread? I can't remember who posted it. Isn't the OP of that thread a bit more weird? Probably. I can't think of who posted it. Okay, hang on. Oh dear Lord. Okay. I can't show that one. What was it? Come on, who's Psycho? She's... I can't think of like what the exact wording is. If I knew the exact wording is, I'd be able to find the thread. But anyway, someone has had a thread going on for months, probably even years at this point. There's just like every so often they'll add a new tweet to it. More evidence that Phoebe's psychotic. The meet me at McDonald's haircut. Last GF's a total hottie and was attracted to me. A guy who was really overweight when we met. Some guys just want a big guy. Some girls just, I mean, some guys want a big guy to cuddle with too, but some girls want a big guy to cuddle with. Yeah. Societally defined beauty standards influence us a lot, and it's weirdly like, it's so blatant. It's right in your face all the time. There's no way you can't look at this and not acknowledge it, I feel like. And yet there are so many people who do not realize they're being psychologically manipulated into feeling a certain way about certain things. You know, I choose to look like this because I like this look. And quite honestly, there are not that many people around that dress the way I do. And maybe that's the appeal to me personally. Because I've always felt a bit alien in society. I've always felt like everyone else has got their own normal thing. And I've never felt normal for various reasons. So I dress in such a way that reflects that. And I found goth fashion generally appeals to me in that regard. So I dress in a way that's sort of eye-catching in the sense that it's like this identifies me as someone who is other in this way or that way or what have you. Whereas I see everyone else getting around in rather casual attire they bought from Kmart. And don't get me wrong, I've got some wardrobe from Kmart, but you know. Phoebe is the hippie/goo saleswoman person. Kind of. She's effectively the Friends equivalent of Kramer, I guess. Would that be an accurate assumption for anyone who's watched Seinfeld? Is Phoebe just Friends as Kramer? I would say that's an accurate assertion. Anyway, also have BPD, and it's the reason you actually tend to be more conscious of your emotional regulation than most people without it. Both you trans GFs wear goth. It's not your thing, but you love and support them. That's understandable, yeah. You just try to look as femme as possible. And don't get me wrong, when I first started this whole thing, when I first started this whole shindig of being a chick, for me personally, it was just I want to wear whatever the feminine people around me wear. So it was like I was influenced by the fashion choices of my mother and my sister and stuff like that. So the women in my life just sort of informed my early wardrobe choices. And then as time went on, I sort of started to develop more of a sense of, excuse me, this is how I want to present and look. You know, I have more of a personal attachment to the things I wear. Anyway, Phoebe X Kramer fanfics incoming. Hello, Bull. How's it going? You've never seen Seinfeld. I'm quite fond of Seinfeld, honestly, but I feel like I want to leave that fondness in the back of my memory, like in my history, and not go back and revisit it, because I feel like if I go back and revisit it, I'm going to find things that I'm going to realize, like, oh shit, maybe this wasn't as good as I thought. You know, one of those things. Didn't age well. I mean, you can just tell by the fact that they have cable phones that it didn't age well. Corded phones. Kind of the concept that drew you to A-Air. Is that did I say that correctly? They're femme feeling, but also not she, her, but kind of ethereal. I understand that, yeah. Watch V for Vendetta for the first time with some friends who really liked it recently. Feel like the movie didn't age well? I might have to rewatch that one to figure out, you know, why wouldn't that have aged well? I don't know. You were never a fan of Seinfeld? I feel like it's definitely a controversial show. Did I see your hint you were trans thing a bit ago? Oh, send it to me again. I can't remember. Discord movie night may be an idea, actually. I've never done one of those. Damn it, why do people have to like my live selfies? Now I've got 31 likes on this post and I don't want to delete it. I should just leave them up. I'll just post afterwards. I'm not live anymore. Anyway, at the very least, maybe like if people see that post 8 hours after I end the stream, they'll just go and follow me anyway. Pardon? Yeah, true. I leave it so, you know. I used to actually say in the post, I'll delete this after I'm not live or something. You're sad that most women have a license to dress in a more expressive way, since in your experience doing the same as a cishet guy, you got alienated by a lot of women. That's very true, actually. It's rather interesting that, you know, men are generally, like, this is perhaps a reflection on patriarchal, on the ways patriarchal society also keeps men down in the same way that it keeps women down and anyone who is not conforming to the gender binary, right? A lot of people think that if we say we live in a patriarchal society, that must mean men have every possible advantage. Now, generally speaking, we live in a patriarchal society that does broadly benefit men. But there are a number of things, including fashion choices, which do punish men for deciding to express themselves in any way that doesn't directly tie to that patriarchal society mold. I should stop saying society. Fucking hell. Gonna come on stream tomorrow night in full Joker face. Anyway. And yeah, Jerry Seinfeld himself is a terrible person. Anyway. But yeah, like, honestly, you know, generally speaking, if you're a man and you decide to dress gender non-conforming, or you just even if you just decide to dress in a way that's not stereotypically masculine, like if you're a dude who wears his hair long, who maybe wears makeup, and even like wearing certain styles of clothing that are designed for men to wear. There are certain clothes that I've seen men wearing, and other men will look at them and like, look at that F-slurry shit. You know, look at that gay shit that bloke's wearing. We sure he's a man? Like that kind of entrenched idea of what masculinity is. And we've gotten into it now. We've gotten into toxic masculinity. I didn't even mean to. What a fucking segue. Nailed it. I am very, very cringe. I wanted to talk about toxic masculinity all night, actually. We can go on this topic further, but just generally speaking, you know, if you're a dude who is not wearing, like, say, suits or button-down tops or t-shirts and jeans, or like wearing a certain type of attire, keeping your hair and facial hair a certain way that is considered acceptable, then you will end up being one of those non-acceptable, undesirable types of men, so to speak. You know, you disagree that society benefits men under what? Explain your point. Explain your argument. I'm curious. Someone say subtweet. What subtweet? Wait, did you subtweet me? You didn't, did you? You did. I know you did. Of course you did. Bought my GF a collar. Can't wait to put it on. Gonna read that out loud. Anyway, hair is super long down past your waist. Holy shit, I'm so jealous. You're kidding me. I want the hair that long. That's so cool. You wouldn't think too much into Pokemon. 20 years later, Ash is still telling girls he's 10 despite him remembering the people seasons before. I feel like all the seasons of Pokemon are just happening in a really condensed timeline, and Ash gets maybe 1 hour of sleep a night, if that. Just like everything is happening really, really like rapidly. We've got a pair of trolls in here. Oh no, are you bored, guys? Yeah, I'm curious about like the argument that society doesn't benefit men, like disagreeing that society benefits men. I'd like to see someone elaborate on that. Because there is so much that evidences that. There is so much that evidences that society does benefit men. Trolls mod check. You could look at like the majority of men in more authoritative roles in careers and things like that. So society works on money, right? Society operates on money. So men, generally speaking, have significantly more opportunities to get into more well-paying jobs for various reasons. That's just a start. That's just to give us, generally, socially speaking, people are going to take a man's opinion over a woman's, for example. If you want to chill, you can chill. Just chill, you know. I wanted to get my hair past my waist, but never got so far. So I wonder if mine will grow that long. I mean, it's been growing for a while. It's down to here. My hair is down to here. It's down to my tits. It's literally down to my tits. This is pretty poggers, but it's been taking a while to grow. Like, so I don't know how long my hair will eventually get to, like, I don't know, there-ish, roughly. But I also want to get my hair cut, is the thing. I want to get it trimmed and neatened. Because I got like split ends and stuff, I think. You've noticed your... Yeah, your hair's definitely grown. Your hair's grown a lot since we met. Quite a lot. Given that the Pokemon world seems entirely alternate, its passage of time could differ as well. Could just be Pokemon that have time powers, honestly. About 1.25 centimeters a month. Really? We got hugs. Duke, thank you for giving us hugs. Sadly, you can't see them, though. Hello. There you go. That was hugs. But you don't get to see it at the moment. And the way women are treated by men who appear to not understand or not care how their behavior affects them. How does society benefit men? So where'd that come from? Hang on, let me go back. Those are very specific arguments you're choosing to make, though. So given that the majority of men are in the most beneficial positions in society, career-wise largely, you know, and women are significantly at a disadvantage when it comes to reproductive health rights, if we want to go down that route. If we want to go on down that avenue. Hello, sweet. How are you doing? When you started your transition, you were warned that being treated as poorly... You were warned that being treated as poorly as a woman was the best case scenario. Goodness gracious. Men are also the vast majority of murderers. I don't think that's necessarily an advantage in society, but you know. Here comes the MRA discourse. Yeah, I know. It's all the same things. It's not a small bundle though. The vast majority of men who are... Oh yeah. The OnlyFans command. I forgot I made that. Toxic masculinity and patriarchy and white supremacy is a hell of a cocktail. Like, you're very, very much nitpicking your arguments there. It's like very... like, the highest suicide rates. What's... So, hang on. So, men have the highest suicide rates. Okay. So, they have the highest rate of succeeding at committing suicide, yes. Because they choose more lethal methods. Women have a higher rate of attempting. Are we doing anything about that, or... going on? And yeah, men do suffer because of hegemonic toxic masculinity. Just because hegemonic toxic masculinity is a thing doesn't mean that society is not still inherently patriarchal. Men still have, I can speak, the vast majority of the privilege in society. Like, in terms of the privilege totem pole, if you want to call it that, I suppose, men sit at the very top. Men dildo have, yeah. Men get a dildo. You speak French. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's an English channel. I can't speak French. Born to die masculinity is a fuck 10 billion dead men. It directly does benefit men over women, though. That's the thing. Do we have any women that have the same level? Let's just throw it to another example if we're going to go down this route. How dare you be female in public? Like, are there any women that have the same level of platform as Joe Rogan, or are there any? How many billionaires are there on the level of, like, say, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, etc.? You know, got bullied a lot in school for acting all queer and disabled on account of your queerness and disabledness. Oh fuck, you got a cheeseburger? Hell yes. Human society is normally the few rule the many, and most men tend to be the security guards for the rich old men. Yes, exactly. You know how I know when I'm passing when I'm being talked over and ignored for dipshits? I speak French. I'm so sorry. Oh, the bottom is actually the place of highest honor. Well, then there we go. I don't know enough about Native American heritage to make those remarks. Thank you for correcting me. There we go. Apprentice carvers would make the top images. That's a neat fact. Thank you for that. Men being depressed, pish, nonsense. Now let me talk about how hard it is to find a partner. Now how I'm disappointing my dad for not being successful, and how me admitting these things make me desperate or weak. I'm picking on the hyper-successful and saying that society benefits men because society does benefit men, because the vast majority of general social import in society is predicated upon your level of success. Is predicated upon what jobs you have, what things you have, what benefits you have, you know, and the vast majority of men are in high-earning, good positions. Just because there are men that don't have those things doesn't make it not true, doesn't make it not a patriarchal society. You know. Do I know anything that can help with your erectile dysfunction? Certainly not estrogen, I'll tell you that much. Anyway. Surprise cheeseburger. I hope it's still good. That's the problem. So if you leave a cheeseburger long enough, it's not going to be... I mean, depends where it's from. Is it like a local takeaway cheeseburger? Because those can be good. Those can last a bit. If you're getting like a Macca's cheeseburger and you leave it to sit for a bit, it's going to go gross. You don't want it to go gross. Men are much more respect. I mean, that's just the basic level of it, isn't it? Basic common decency, respect, whatever, is like if a man and a woman are speaking in the same room, in the same venue, for example, the man's opinions are going to be taken far more seriously than the woman's. This is basic human observation. Then why did you come in here with the opinion, Baked Beans, honestly? It's clear you have no interest in listening, you know. And the thing is, you're arguing from completely different perspectives. You know. You're arguing only explicitly on things that do negatively affect men, while completely dismissing all the things that do directly benefit men. You know. You've been listening for a couple of weeks, you just don't talk. So you waited for this specific moment. Interesting. That was not worth it. Goodness. I should really have... Nah, whatever. What about the gender pay gap? Which is a real thing, by the way. And that's honestly just comes back to what we were saying before. It's like... And if we continue down this train of thought, the vast majority of men are in jobs that pay better, and the vast majority of women are in jobs that pay worse. For no real good reason, mind you. Yeah, living in a patriarchal society doesn't mean men don't suffer, but it's still a patriarchal society by definition. It's still ruled by men. There are still men in incredibly powerful positions making all the decisions. And yeah, patriarchy does hurt men as well. Trans femme trying to keep function. Oh, God, rip. Teaching paid well when it was all men. Curious, that, isn't it? Now there's a lot of women in teaching and it doesn't pay as well as it used to. I wonder what that's about. Childcare is a mostly female-dominated industry, and a lot of childcare workers are struggling to pay the bills. You know. Not saying the way the world is set up doesn't harm men as well, it absolutely does, but by and large, men have more privilege than women, yes. You know. Privilege is like a, it's not like an explicit be-all, end-all, congratulations, you got this, you won sort of situation. You know, you can have any number of different privileges and still not be able to capitalize on them. Childcare is so expensive. Weird, isn't it? Yes, that is strange. Oh, I just noticed my music is playing. I could hear that for a second. It was quiet for just a second and I could hear my music. Childcare is hard and emotionally demanding and pays terribly, generally speaking. And if we consider the fact that, and this is honestly kind of strange to me, especially given I used to think we lived in a relatively progressive society, but there is still a lot of that dynamic of women ending up giving birth and being primary child carers, while the man is the breadwinner, making the woman who is not paid for being a parent, which she should be because parenting is a job, you know, women should be given income. I'm just throwing that, like, if a woman has to spend the vast majority of her time while the dad's off doing his office job or whatever the fuck it is he does, the woman mothering should also be getting paid, because taking care of a child is not a significant responsibility. You know, even as a trans woman who's been denied healthcare and harassed, I still have white privilege that has benefited me at times that wouldn't have benefited a non-white person. Precisely. So, you know, there are numerous situations that a man might get into, whereas if a woman was in that situation, she'd be at significantly more risk. So, let's just say, for example, the first thing that comes to mind for some reason is like a man waiting at the bus stop late at night to get on the bus, right? Just waiting for the bus to arrive. And if a woman were in that same situation, let's just say there was some violent lunatic or what have you, woman's most likely to be at risk of being preyed upon than a man sitting at that same bus stop. Abolish the commodity form, but yeah, it's a good step too. Levels are in female range, but my functionality is sticking around, getting less and less as time goes by. Who tends to make laws? Men. True, exactly. Being mildly conventionally attractive and white made it easy for white people to give me money when I begged for it on GoFundMe. Yes, exactly. And in the same vein, I'm reminded of someone who I recently noticed changed her profile picture. Because she's pretty conventionally attractive. And she changed her profile picture to like an anime profile picture or something like that. And noticed her interactions went down quite significantly. Which is a representation of pretty privilege, basically. So she's a fairly attractive person. Changed her profile picture to something else, and all of a sudden people were not really interested in interacting with her anymore. Funny how that works. That's always an interesting one to me personally. Pretty privilege. It's the same kind of thing. It's like people are more willing, and this is strange because, you know, people will take certain intellectuals seriously when they're not particularly attractive people. But that's more like respectability politics. Like if you have a PhD in whatever, you can say whatever you want about any topic, and people are more likely to take you seriously. But anyway. Many forget women weren't allowed to vote or even have a bank account until relatively recently in history. Yeah, exactly. Only you're allowed to diverge from the topic because you're lovable like that. Ooh woo. Anyway. Also gatekeep men out of childcare in many ways. I will say, I remember, I think I've told this story before. When one of my kids was in childcare, they announced they were bringing in a male childcare worker, and they actually had to put up flyers about it and put out like a little FAQ or whatever about the fact that the childcare center was going to have a man working there, which was super strange to me then, super strange to me now thinking back on it. It's like, why is that an issue? You wouldn't put that out if you were getting just a new female co-worker. Increases the work required of female staff and hinders male professionals from getting jobs. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like they created an issue, yeah. Anyways. Don't see why you should be allowed to out them, but if they want to come out, support them. Agreed. If you know someone who is potentially trans and they want to come out, you support them. That's it. You listen to what they have to say. Recently found out there's an MTF Transformers. There's MTF Transformers and two of them are a couple. Oh, really? Okay. Transformers, there you go. It'll come back, but it'll be driven by estrogen. There's meds that can help too. Yeah, bring back function and stuff like that. Are we still talking about, like, are you talking about sexual function? What are we talking about? Anyway. Yes, I agree, NBSP. That's a thought that didn't come to mind because honestly, it's late. I'm tired, but you know. Good night, Fox. Have a good one. This fucked up thing in certain parents where why would a man want to work with kids? That's odd. He must be a pet. Like, have they never seen a father play with his children? Like, just like kick a ball around, play. I was gonna say play fetch. You play fetch with a dog, not with kids, but whatever. Like, have they not seen a father being a parent before? It's so straight. Like, and that's another way in which patriarchal society negatively affects men, is that it treats the man of the household as exclusively the breadwinner. He must always be busy. He must always be working and thus never have time for his children. All of that kind of thing. Emotional vulnerability bad, yay patriarchy, pretty much. You know, if a man expresses his care and love and adoration for his kids, he must be some kind of weirdo. You know, having done some temp work for your local municipality, you were in childcare a lot. The permanent staff was very female weighted, but not all of them. Yeah, but that's his kids, not other people's. And like, this is where it gets strange, right? It's like, do they not realize that women are just, you know, have just as much likelihood of becoming predators as men do, you know? Find it humorous that those trans characters don't have figures, so in order to have them in your collection, you need to repaint 2 male figures to turn them empty out. He must be tough and not emotionally available. Stoicism is crucial. And again, that's another thing. Because women can't be that, yeah. Yeah, like the emotionally available thing is yet another way that, you know, men are punished for expressing themselves. Men are punished for being emotionally vulnerable, I suppose, is a difficult thing, because if you show any of those emotions, if you show any of those frustrations that you might have, or if you show any empathy or care and compassion, yeah, there's still a very pervasive attitude of like, either it's girly or it's a homosexual slur, generally speaking, a homophobic slur. So that just pushes those men to repress those things for fear of peer pressure, generally speaking. You see the other men having the attitude that if you express those emotions, like boys don't cry, men don't cry, you know, that just punishes men for having any kind of emotional vulnerability. You smile at babies on the tram and no maternal gesture raises eyebrows when you're on fam. There's one man I know who absolutely goes that way, expresses love for his family mainly by overworking himself. You do feel like he has a touch of hyperactivity that he's channeling into it, though. It's very possible. Must be tough, emotionally unavailable, and never do anything around the house. So my dad, pretty much. That's probably a lot of dads, more than likely a lot of dads, and that's categorically encouraged and enforced. Because it's let me think for a second. It tends to stem from this idea that if men are men, if men are manly men. I'm trying to think. There's a thought I want to go with here with regards to like generational masculinity. If a man is a man, he passes down that stoicism to his sons and things like that. Hello. Here's another wiki about the female king of Poland. I had a thought in my head. Dad called you feminine insults a lot as a kid. Yeah, men don't cry, they weep. Oh, Looper redeemed hugs. Okay, we have to do hugs. I'm gonna need to pee in a minute. Luckily, we're like very much at the end of the stream, and I'm like rambling. But I think we've kind of made our points here. I'm gonna go get my hug really quickly. Get my hug.
I hope chat didn't hear that.
I really need a piss.
Yeah,
That cat in the mirror. Oh, yeah, the giant cat head. Anyone notice my... Where is he? I need to show this off. This is the thing that I got recently. Hang on. Look, for anyone who's a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, I got Appa. I found Appa. Thank you for the head pats. Look. Yip, yip. You cannot look straight in the cat's face. It stares into your soul. How could I gesture to it? Here we go. Should totally get Madeline a Momo one. If they had one, yes, absolutely. Anyways. Make sure to love yourself for science and health. Hello, Plodsky. Alright, give me a second. I'll go pee. Oh, we might call it there, though. I should call it there. How are you, Plods? What's going on? I feel like it'd be weird I feel like it'd be like running an ad break. You know, at the end of a sitcom and then rolling credits after the sitcom finishes. You know how they do that on free-to-air television? They do that on free-to-air television. Right? They'll what's it called? Yeah, they'll just literally run an ad break, and then you come back from the ad break and it's just credits. I'm like, why would you even bother? Why would you do that? You know? If I go pee now and then come back and just end the stream, that's exactly the same thing. Do a 12-hour ad break, easy money. Only if I have a lot of viewers, you know. And they stay there throughout the ads. Yeah, boomer television, pretty much. Pretty much. Alright, how's about... Let's go on to somebody else who's playing something. Who's doing things? Oh, hello. Oh, okay. That's not gonna work. Jesus Christ. Dead Pirate Brandon is doing a subathon, which has been going for, from what I can tell, 43 hours and 37 minutes. He's asleep. Right? It's just ongoing, I suppose. Anyway. How about I'll send you on to Radhom, because Radhom's always good. Radhom's always a good bet. But anyway, I will be back tomorrow. We're trying to do a full week of streams this week because I have been no snore cam. He's not even on the screen. Anyway, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll continue with whatever we're going on about. We'll find some topics because I really came into this with fucking nothing. I came into this week's return stream with nothing on the agenda, so I think we did pretty well for getting out 3 hours of whatever the fuck this was. Society is patriarchal. Don't talk to fascists. I don't know. We smashed our sub goal, so thanks for that. That was fun. I have a PS5. Oh yeah, when we get the PS5, we're unboxing it on stream, by the way. We're going to unbox it on stream. Hello, Bun. How you doing? We're calling it now. We're ending it now. I really need to put up a thing on screen that says stream ending. Fuck cops. Don't talk to fascists. Society is patriarchy. Gender is a fact, but not in the way that Dave Chappelle would like you to think. I'm not Team TERF. Team Anti-TERF. Is there a Team Anti-TERF? I want to join that one. Like Antifa, but for TERFs. Anyway, I love your faces. Be kind to yourselves and each other. And I'll see you when I'm looking at you. Bye.